at the box office, number one, Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, made $30 million. Is that how people are saying it? X Kong?
No one knows how you're supposed to say that title.
Thank you. I appreciate that because when Batman v Superman came out, I kept saying versus, and you were correcting me and saying no, it was v Superman. So everybody's in the dark on this one.
No one knows.
All right.
I was just somewhere this weekend where Batman v Superman was filmed. And my wife was like, "Did you know that Batman versus Spider-Man was filmed here?" And I was like, "Wow, when's that coming out?"
Yeah, I want to see that.
Sounds good.
Then we have Monkey Man.
Monkey
Man.
Give me the Monkey Man. Somebody give him a banana. Jimmy.
Monkey. All right. That came in second, followed by Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, The First Omen, and Kung Fu Panda 4. Because I don't have 10 anymore. I only have 5. All right. So after 14 years of marriage, Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher are calling it quits.
Wow.
Yeah, they both shared the same announcement on their Instagram stories on Friday, along with a photo of them dressed in tennis whites. After a long tennis match, they wrote, lasting over 20 years, we are finally putting our rackets down. In 2023, we jointly filed to enter marriage. Wow.
This is one of those things where I was glad. They seemed happy and it was all good, but she was always like, I mean, she's just amazing, you know?
Wait, was he the one? Did Rebel Wilson mention him in her book?
Yeah.
Okay, wonder if it has anything to do with that.
What I hear, and this is on my sources, Preston, I don't want to usurp your sources, which are far more extensive, but I have heard that it was over where they are living. She wants to remain in Australia while he wants to go to England.
Yeah. It's quite possible.
Where he's from.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Rebel Wilson thing. Kathy said they filed in 2023. So the Borat actor and the Wedding Crashers actress met in 2001. They got engaged in 2004, married in Paris in 2010. So they kind of took their time, you know, and didn't jump right into things. So that's why you thought it might have staying power. But they have 3 kids as well, 2 daughters and a son, and mentioned them in their statement about the split. They said, we forever share in our devotion and love for our children. We sincerely appreciate your respecting our family's wish for privacy. So that's always too bad to hear about that. So Pat Sajak has taped his final day as the host of the iconic game show Wheel of Fortune. It's come to a close. It hasn't aired yet. But they just filmed it.
Right, yeah.
It will air on Friday, June 7th, apparently. Sajak, who is 77 years old, will end his legacy run as a host after 41 marvelous seasons.
Sajak is so smooth, so good at the role. And you know what? I think Ryan Seacrest is going to do pretty well.
I think so, too. He won't be totally gone, at least not for a while. He will serve as consultant on the game show for 3 years as the show transitions to Ryan Seacrest. It was last June when Pat took to social media to announce the current season would be his last. And less than a month later, it was announced that Ryan Seacrest would be tapped to replace Sajak.
See, on April Fool's, they brought out Jared Leto as a faux host.
No.
They introduced him as the new host. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Came out in a suit, started playing the game. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
Pat has served as host for Wheel of Fortune since 1981. He took over for Chuck Woolery. Sajak, who earned 19 Daytime Emmy Award nominations and earned 3 for Outstanding Game Show Host, shared with ET back in December 2022 that his time as the host was soon coming to an end.
What do you think you're going to do after this, Pat Sajak? Do you have any interest in botany?
He didn't.
Because that's what I did on my planet. I was a scientist, a top-level goddamn scientist. And now I'm being fed candy in the tool shed of some little prick's house. So that's my nightmare.
This is the first time we've ever heard E.T. get
Well, I'm pissed.
upset.
And you were in that helicopter.
All these years we had no idea.
I'm fuming.
It was him.
Just been
Ryan will be joined by Vanna White, who in September closed on a new deal, and it will take her through the 2025-26 season.
Which I'm thrilled about as well. I watch Jeopardy into Wheel of Fortune every evening. And then if she decides to leave, and I don't know why she would, Sajak's daughter would be a very suitable Vanna replacement.
Didn't she host one time, or did she just
Vanna
do the Vanna
hosted
thing?
while Pat,
Okay.
while Pat was
All
away
right.
having surgery, and I believe it was they had some fill-ins for Vanna.
Vanna joined the show in 1982, 1 year after the show premiered, and she's undoubtedly synonymous with the game show. So we'll have to wait and see how long she decides to stick around. But yeah, that's a big era right there. And that show, man, that show will go on for as long as they have a decent host. It will go on forever and ever. I mean, even The Price is Right hangs in there, and I don't think Drew Carey is. Not that I'm disparaging Drew Carey, but he's not Bob Barker.
Yeah,
but that show still chugs along because the basics, the bones of it is a great show, and the same thing with Wheel of Fortune.
Pat was invested in the show, has been invested in the show. In fact, he created game improvements that they still use to this day.
Sure. Yeah. Love it. Pauly Shore and the Comedy Store are facing a second lawsuit alleging assaults from the comedy club's bouncers. Comedian Elliot Persciuti has filed a lawsuit against Pauly and the Comedy Store in Los Angeles on Thursday, alleging bouncers attacked him December 15th after he claims he forgot to pay his bar tab. Persciuti alleged two bouncers grabbed and detained him as he left the club to inform him he needed to settle. While outside, the comedian claimed he paid his bill and added a tip, but a bouncer accused him of trying to hit the server. A group of the club's bouncers proceeded to throw Persciuti face down on the sidewalk and began to hit and kick him for an appreciable amount of time, according to the lawsuit. Persciuti said that one of his bouncers during the alleged assault yelled, "This is for Pauly." At times, he said the comedian alleged their acts became so violent that other bouncers attempted to restrain them.
I've never heard of there being an issue with the bouncers at the Comedy Store.
This is the second one. Persciuti is suing for assault, battery, intentional inflict of emotional distress, and negligence after he suffered severe physical and emotional damage as a result of the beating per the lawsuit. Now, this comes after Sean Kehoe and his daughter, Caroline Potts, filed a lawsuit against Shore and the Comedy Club in January. Kehoe and Potts alleged in the 17-page complaint that Kehoe was violently grabbed and attacked, including being dragged during their November 2022 visit. The pair claimed the attack was carried out by the establishment's security personnel. The lawsuit said Shore knew that the group planned to assault Kehoe and agreed with and encouraged them to assault him, and Shore intended that the assault be committed. So that's according to the lawsuit.
Pauly Shore's been running the place since Mitzi Shore died, right? His mom? I think that was basically it, right?
I've never heard it, but I assumed so. But yeah, this kind of seems to kind of indicate that. Tom Holland's above the title appearance in Romeo and Juliet will transfer to Broadway, according to an insider quoted in the UK press. The Spider-Man star's return to London's West End stage, where he starred in Billy Elliot the Musical as a boy, has seen tickets for the show at the Duke of York's Theatre all sell out in under 2 hours. And there are reports that the Jamie Lloyd Company production will be transferring to New York once it finishes in London in August following a 12-week run.
Will he still have spider capabilities in the production?
Of course.
Yeah.
Romeo with Spider-Man time?
I'll get up to your balcony, don't worry.
Source said Romeo and Juliet will head to Broadway after its London run, with details to be announced in due course, while director Jamie Lloyd has made a name for his minimalist adaptations of classic texts. The headline grabber for what is essentially yet another production of Romeo and Juliet is undoubtedly its leading man. Ticket prices for the London show are up around like $325, $350, but it hasn't stopped the interest. People are snapping them up.
The dude takes chances.
Holland's co-star in the tragedy is Francesca Amawuda Rivers, and making her West End debut. But this week, producers spoke out to slam the barrage of deplorable racial abuse that the actress has received following the cast announcement. But she'll probably prove it on the stage once they get going.
She'll bring it.
Yeah. While celebrating his 70th birthday over the weekend, Jackie Chan addressed his fans' concerns over his older appearance.
He's older.
The iconic actor and martial arts artist comments come after social media users became concerned after a photo of him sporting gray hair at an event went viral. After the photo began circulating last month, many fans shared in the comment section they were worried about the state of his health. And on Sunday, he marked his birthday milestone. He turned 70. By posting throwback pics of himself on various film sets during his lengthy Hollywood career. Though having grays at 70 years of age is certainly not unimaginable, he took the time to explain his new appearance to his worried fans. He said, "Not so long ago, a lot of friends saw some recent photos of me in the internet. They were all concerned about my health, and I want to take this opportunity to let everyone know, don't worry. He said, it's just a character appearance for my latest movie. The character requires me to have white hair, white beard, and look old.
Listen, the dude can run up friggin' walls.
Hell yes.
Yeah, if you've ever seen that, he's doing fine.
He also shared that he's always been willing to try new things for a movie, no matter if it's a challenging stunt or breakthrough appearance for a character. He said, even before today, many friends have been reminding me, Jackie, it's going to be your 70th birthday, and every time I hear the number in my head, my heart wouldn't stop for a second. Am I 70 years old already? The stunt legend then opened up about reaching the milestone age and shared gratitude for the clever words of his big brother, Sammo Hung, who said, being able to grow old is a fortunate thing. He said, especially for us stunt people, we don't know how lucky we are to be able to grow old.
Yeah, and speaking of that stunt stuff, so when I was super heavily into Jackie Chan, one of the big thrills of the Jackie Chan movies would be at the end.
Yeah.
It would show you the multitude of ways he got injured during the filming.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not CGI stuff and not the elaborate rigs we have now.
He would get hurt several times during every single movie. By the way, speaking of stunt people and aging and all that, you remember it was a few years ago, it's been a while, Jet Li.
Yes.
He was in a bad way.
And we were wondering, and I don't think I've heard anything, a follow-up, because he
No.
I think he was actually having some sort of, not a broken arm or something, but he was sick.
Something internal.
Yeah, something internal.
And I haven't checked in. I hadn't thought about that until seeing this story this morning. So maybe I'll do a little digging later on and see where he's at.
Yeah, he has no acting gigs coming up, Preston. And the last thing that he did was in the live action Mulan that came out in 2020. So, not a lot of roles lately.
Okay. Kathy.
Yes.
Pennsbury High School graduate Haley Jackson will soon join the NBC nightly news team as the Sunday anchor.
I saw this.
I guess this is national, right?
Yes.
Jackson, who grew up in Lower Makefield, has always dreamt of being a newscaster. During her time at Pennsbury, she found herself inspired by 6 ABC.
And Kathy Romano.
I don't know.
She's also a newswoman.
Well, I'm much younger than she is.
She earned a...
What are you guys laughing at?
Good point.
She earned a political science degree from Johns Hopkins University and once interned at a TV station in New York City during her undergraduate studies. She anchored MSNBC Reports with Haley Jackson. Her new role will start April 7th, so it's already begun.
I'm a big fan of yours, Kathy, but even though you were 9 classes ahead of me.
On the nightly news, it airs at 6:30 p.m., and she will also continue to anchor on Haley Jackson Now weekends from 5 to 7. So local gal, big national gig.
Yeah, there was a girl that graduated a year before me, so I was also younger than her. She was on CNN for a while. She was down in D.C., and she was like, I don't know if she was political but she was a reporter on CNN for a while. She is no longer, and it was a short run. I'm not really sure what happened. She was really
good. Look at the names coming out of your school. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then this girl, it's really cool.
Yeah. I watch her story, so that's my
that's your inspiration.
That's my news source. I like that reporter.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Molly Ringwald is getting candid about the beginning of her motherhood journey. The actress revealed the story behind conceiving her older daughter, Mathilda, who is now 20, whom she shares with her husband, Panio Giannopoulos.
Hey.
The Breakfast Club alum is also mom to fraternal twins, Adele and Roman, who are 14. She said, I believe that Mathilda was conceived in the dressing room at Studio 54 right at the end of my run playing Sally Bowles in Cabaret in 2003. So they were doing it right there.
Studio 54.
At Studio 54 in a dressing room. She said, it's so Matilda to be conceived in such an iconic place. She said, I always knew I wanted to have children, but it took me a while. I was 36 when she was born. At that age, the biological clock is a real thing, and I had kind of become deafening. Or it had kind of become deafening. All I could think about was must have kids. Later in the interview, she opened up about what has been the most difficult thing about motherhood for her. She said, the hardest thing about motherhood was realizing that my time was not my own. As an actress, I've traveled a lot, learned to live with instability, but that's not great for kids. It's something I always am looking to improve on, and luckily I have a husband who is a planner and is very stable, she said. But
John Hughes had a bit of a crush on her.
Yeah.
He cast her because when he was in school, that was the kind of girl he loved.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, not that there was anything that ever happened, but that was He himself said it.
So interesting story about having a kid in an interesting place, or at least conceiving a child in an interesting place. And then one last story. Universal Pictures announced Friday that it's going to re-release the 1990 film The Mummy this year. It will open April 26th in theaters. Brendan Fraser stars as a soldier helping a librarian, Rachel Weisz, locate the tomb of Imhotep, and they accidentally reawaken him as a mummy.
I dug that movie.
It's really well done.
I went to see it not really knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
Fraser was good. Everybody was good. I remember the scarabs being particularly frightening. You remember the hordes of those things?
Yeah. Crawling all over him, yeah.
Gnawing into people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a solid movie.
Yeah, I'm just curious why they've decided to put it back in theaters. But
It's the year of the mummy?
They're going to. Not really sure. It was in 1999, so it's not like it's...
Yeah.
An I guess that, wait, that would be...
25 years.
25 years, yeah. That's 25th anniversary.
I'm
yeah.
not good with
that.
that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Makes total sense.
All right, we're ready to hit the clips. Clip is... Talented Mr. Ripley was a book that turned into movies, and now it's a television series. And in this clip stars Andrew Scott and Dakota Fanning talk about Tom and Marge's relationship.
They can see each other in a way that is really chemical. It's some way that they know each other. They're not romantically interested in each other, but they know each other. Definitely not. But they can't stand each other.
Yeah, big whoop. No one cares.
Ripley is streaming now on Netflix. What did you think about that movie?
I did not like it the first time I saw it, and then I saw it again, and I liked it more.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember everyone raving about it. I'm like,
It was weird because he's Tom Ripley character is supposed to be like a sociopath.
Yes.
But he kind of is.
He's beaten up by everybody.
It's kind of accidental. It's
Yeah.
not, like it doesn't seem like he's going out to be a murderer or anything. I don't know. I found it kind of strange.
He's a bit. I understand they're going to clarify that more with this.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
I've watched the trailers for this. I'm like, okay, they're going to sharpen that focus a little bit more on it. All right, next clip. When Ms. Crandall takes a much-needed wellness retreat in Thailand, her teen daughter is forced to stay home with her 3 siblings and a dead babysitter. Yes, a reboot of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead is coming to theaters, and here, Nicole Richie, who plays Rose, I'm on top of it, Rose, talks about the innocent viewpoint of the film. Here we go.
You watch the adults in Ferris Bueller and you're like, they are aliens no matter how old you are, you know? I think you get the same vibe of this movie. You know everything's going to be okay, but you are like down on this adventure with the teenagers and you're rooting for them. And you really get to look at the world through a teenager's eyes.
Yeah! Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It hits theaters this Friday.
I was a fan of the original.
Yeah.
The Christina Applegate movie.
a fun movie.
Yeah, it sort of surprised you with how good it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched it not that long ago, and it still actually holds up.
And that is what I have in the entertainment report for you this morning. We got money. Money starts today. Yes, it's good money. Good money to see you. Your first chance to win $1,000 now, less than an hour away, because every morning at 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, we are going to do it. And then at 10 a.m., we'll do it again. And then it happens again throughout the day, noon, 3, and 5 p.m. And it's brought to you by McLaughlin Plumbing and Heating and Cooling. So do not miss your chances to win $1,000. We're also going to talk to our good friend, Mr. Derek Pitch, Chief Astronomer at the Franklin Institute. Today is Eclipse Day. Hoping the clouds don't cause a problem. We'll find out. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
The total solar eclipse happens today. Experts warn you do not stare at the eclipsed sun. We have heard this. You need the proper protection, of course. But there are some conspiracy theorists who are insisting that experts are lying and it is completely safe to stare at the eclipse of the sun. Some of the theories that it's fine to stare at the eclipse are rooted in nothing more than a belief that everyone should just ignore the experts. Here's an example. One user on social media wrote, if they're telling us to not look at the eclipse, it's probably good for us, so look at the eclipse.
Well, there's always been people like that, and they usually end up blind.
Yes, they do. Another one said, I've always looked at eclipses. Plus, almost every day, I will stare at the sun for about 5 minutes, and I'm not blind yet.
Just ask my guide dog.
Yeah. They said they lied about that.
So, it is my understanding, and can bring this up with Derek Pitts, that if you're in totality, right? Is that what they're calling it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you happen to be in, like, for example, here in PA, they're saying around Erie, PA is the optimum spot for seeing what they call totality. Yeah. There's a brief minute and a half where you could, with your naked eyes, look at the eclipse.
Okay.
I think that's almost a dumb thing to throw out there because you wouldn't risk it, and we aren't a good. But hypothetically, because of you wouldn't be in that situation that is causing what can literally blind you.
Yeah, I'm going to be at an appearance at Arita's Water Ice on Kirkwood Highway in Wilmington, and I was looking at it yesterday. It looks like my vantage point will be at about 89.9% total eclipse.
It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, my niece is she goes to school at Syracuse University. They're 100% up there. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when they show, like, for example, I was watching, there were a couple of eclipse shows on over the weekend and doing a little reading on it. And I remember eclipses of yore, and even the most austere ones, as you pointed out, Preston, it's not going to be like pitch black night.
Yeah.
It's going to be like dusk.
Shady.
Shady, yeah.
Okay, so in Erie, is it pitch black night?
It's going to be
no, same. Okay,
yeah, but it will. They will have almost full totality.
Right. No, so the reason I ask is because they went into all the animals, and like the barn animals walk back to the barn, and crickets start chirping, and all of that.
I don't know how they'd see it any differently than a really cloudy
day,
stormy day, or I'm not sure.
They will read it as like dusk. They'll read it as the end.
That can be kind of how it feels a little bit, I would imagine, because I've never been in totality. I've been in, 70, 80% or whatever, and it just seems a little bit odd. But I would assume in totality, it's probably like dusk.
So, do you know how at the end of the day, packs of wild dogs will harmonize? We said this before.
Yes.
That's going to happen again. But all the crickets will probably start chirping, and all of those prepping for nocturnal time will happen with a lot of animals.
By the way,
blue whales will beach themselves.
Here's another thing. One account claimed when the eclipse happens, ditch the glasses. They are a lie. Look at it with your eyes, and the flat Earth truth will be revealed.
Oh my gosh!
Here we go.
The glasses are not to protect your eyes; they are to protect their lies.
Okay, who said this?
I don't know.
And what are your
Does it shock you?
credentials?
Does it shock you that since time began?
But it's just much more visible now, and the concern is that somebody who is open to suggestion might actually do that, and I would hate to see somebody get hurt over that. It's stupid. It's irresponsibility at its height. By the way, I wanted to throw this out there because Steve, you were curious, and I am as well too. If anybody listening has ever had, not necessarily from an eclipse, but vision issues, permanent problems because of sunlight for whatever reason, have you had damage to your eyes from that? I've never really asked anybody because I know that obviously when you look at a really bright object, or if you happen to have glanced up at the sun for a moment, you do have that after image that stays there for a little while. And my assumption is that when you have real damage, it stays there permanently.
It's permanent. So it would be the same.
215-263 WMMR.
Sorry, President.
No, it's okay.
We've learned that this is a similar light to when someone is welding, and that's why welders wear those masks with this specific serial number that would allow you to look at the eclipse. And I know for a fact there have been people, it happens, that get injured because they look at the light and it will. I don't know if they go totally blind, or I don't know what.
It burns the retina.
Well, I remember in chemistry class, the magnesium.
Right.
If you burn that, it's bright enough to do damage to your eyes. Like they were like, whatever you do, not look right at this because it can cause permanent scarring of your eye somehow or another.
Exactly. From what I understand, it affects the macula in your eye, which is the back of the eye.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Derek this later, but
someone who knows.
Someone who knows, but apparently in Erie, it will be total darkness during the eclipse.
Okay.
Well, we'll ask him about that.
So when I was younger at Mass, I would do anything and everything to not
blind
pay,
yourself.
To not pay attention.
to not pay attention. And one of those things, Steve, is I would do is I would stare at the lights that were hanging down. And I would stare at them because then if you stare them long enough, you would get that little spot in front of your eyes.
I hate that.
But Kathy, I would use that.
You could play Pong.
I would do that so I could play like I had laser vision.
Yeah.
You know? And so I would.
And you would point your aiming.
Yes. I blew up so many people in that church over the years.
Father, our child is possessed. Would you perform he thinks he has laser eyes. I've seen this many times before.
Nick pulled up a couple of texts. It says, Gadzooks, it's Marie from the Will's Eye Hospital.
Oh, okay.
And solar retinopathy, or retinopathy, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, is a very real thing, she said. Maybe she'll call in. Here's another one. It says, I've had welder's flash a few times. It's horrible. Your eyes almost scab over.
Wow. So like with later on today, I've seen it, and as you said, you're going to see it on TV.
Yeah.
Just looking around at the way things are going to look is going to be enough for me. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need. And I'm kind of a pussy when it comes to this stuff. Are these good enough? These glasses? I'm not going to risk it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care.
It's not worth getting hurt over. Or,
Yeah. You don't tug on Superman's cape.
Causing some kind of permanent damage. You don't want to do that. We'll go to some calls. I got Dan on the line. Hi, Dan. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to bother you at work.
Nah, man. What's up? What's your story, bud?
So the last eclipse, we were outside working, and nobody had glasses, and nobody was going to look up. Some guys had their sunglasses, and I peeked up quickly, and for 3 days, I felt like I had a piece of metal in my eye.
So you just glanced at it?
Quickly, like very, very quickly.
Wow.
And, I went to urgent care, and the first thing the nurse said, did you look at the eclipse?
No kidding.
And I said, yes, I did. And that's what they thought it was. They looked. I didn't have anything in my eye. And it really did feel like a piece of glass or metal was stuck in my eye.
So there's a cautionary tale. And how many days did you say before it went away?
It was about 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days in just a quick glance. I mean,
And you didn't have any vision loss from it?
No, it just felt like I said, something was stuck in my eye.
That's weird. Wow, I haven't heard of that. Thank you,
I've
Dan.
never heard of that.
Appreciate that.
Shut up about the sun. Shut up about the sun.
What's that from?
The Office.
Nick sent it to me over the weekend. He was like, this is going to be you Monday.
Shut up about the sun.
Have you ever had a total eclipse of the heart, Preston?
Oh, no.
And would you
I
say
can get
anything
into
about
that.
it if you could?
Hey, Dr. Mike's on the line. I have an appointment.
He wants to pre-check you in.
I guess so, yeah. I have an appointment today from Fox 29 and Penn Medicine. Dr. Mike Srigliano is joining us. Dr. Mike, good morning, buddy. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, we couldn't hear you. Let me do that again. Dr. Mike, good morning.
Yeah. Are you coming in at the time of the eclipse?
I actually will be. I think we're going to have a tender moment while it is happening, Dr. Mike. That's when my appointment is, by the way.
Hold me.
Wow. Well, we'll have to put the lights on. I'll bring my surgical lights in, and we'll make sure it's light in the room.
Yeah, it needs to be because, you're going to be going places where you've been before.
Where you need to see.
So 2 things I want to say. Number one, I deal with conspiracy theories most every day of my life in terms of people's beliefs and look. I have a phrase I teach the medical students: in God we trust, in everyone else show me the data. And so anyone out there that you can't just go by the internet. You've got to do your research. So this is a real deal, and I'm sure you're going to have several ophthalmologists call in. You can't do it. Don't risk it. That's number one. Number two, the only other thing I want to say, make sure that you have legitimate glasses to wear when you're looking up there. And there's 3 things you have to make sure of. One is that it's got an ISO emblem on it. The other is where it's manufactured, and there's another number. I had glasses.
I have the number here, Mike. Do you have it?
No, because Thomas Drayton took my glasses.
Son of a bitch. Well, it's ISO 12312-2. 12312-2.
Right. There's a lot of fake glasses out there, and the last thing you want to do is look up at this thing with fake glasses because then you can get damage to the retina, which in some cases can be permanent.
Yes.
So don't take a chance.
So I have a pair at home, Mike. They're the Stevie Wonder brand, and I think they're pretty authentic.
Well, look, Steve, you know I got your back.
I know you do.
Anyway.
No, you're right. So how quickly, listen, obviously these are variables, but how quickly can the human eye, at the height of the bad period at which you don't want to be looking up at all, unless you have the protection, how quickly could the human eye be damaged?
Well, I think it can happen fairly quickly because it's that intense amount of radiation, of sunlight that can lead to not just partial or temporary damage, but burning of the retina. And that can lead to scarring, as Preston said, and that can lead to permanent problems.
Okay.
And so why? Vision is one of those things I never want to lose.
Yeah.
And so just be careful, make sure you have the right glasses, and don't believe some of this knucklehead stuff out there. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. And Dr. Mike, wash your finger before I get in there.
I will. I'm going to keep it warm.
Thank you.
Then you both can sniff it out.
Dr. Mike Srigliano, thank you, Xfinity Mobile guest.
Love you.
Love ya. We'll see ya. So, yeah, you heard the good doctor. I mean, just don't do it, obviously. All right, so we got a couple of callers, people who have had a permanent eye or semi-permanent eye problem. I'm going to go to Ryan about the welder's flash. We got a couple of those. Hey, Ryan, good morning.
I'd like to apologize to Catherine Romano and her pool boy, Casey Boy.
Well done.
Into my fantasy life.
Well done.
I like the delivery.
The tribute
thank you.
was warranted. Yes.
Nice, Ryan. All right, are you a welder, Ryan?
I am, yeah. I have been for about 20 years. And occasionally by accident, if you're assisting someone, you can get some secondary welder's flash where it's just, you don't really know it's happening when it's happening.
Okay.
Typically, you'll wake up, middle of the night, and it literally feels like you just have grains of sand under your eyelids.
Wow.
But at the same time, they don't stop watering. It's kind of an odd, like they feel dry yet soaking wet at the same time.
Would it have been the situation, Ryan, that you're there, you could passively be there, not be aware that you've caught a flash, a welder's flash, and then only later on when the symptoms occurred do you realize you had it happen?
Correct. Yeah, correct. Especially when you're a younger welder, when you're more experienced, you're more attuned to it. For instance, when you're a kid, you think, I'll be fine forever.
Yeah.
As you get older, you take those precautions. But yeah, and oddly, now maybe it's an old wives' tale, maybe it's a placebo effect. But one thing I was always taught was that when this happens, you're to place like sliced potatoes over your eyes, like raw potatoes, almost like you would do with cucumbers.
Huh.
But the potatoes are supposedly they draw the dryness out or something. Either way, it worked for me. So it's kind of an odd little thing where you're laying in bed, and I remember telling my then girlfriend, "Hey, you got to get me some potatoes quick," and she thought I was messing with her. But
wow. All right, interesting. We'll maybe take a look and see why that might be the case. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you, man.
Potato eyes.
Watching you.
Here's a text that I'm curious about, too. This person says, I wonder if you can look at the eclipse through the selfie mode on a phone.
No.
Why not?
Because don't give people bad advice.
So if you're holding, the phone this way,
Like
so
this.
and your back is to the deal. No.
Oh, put it that way? Yeah, I
Yes.
guess maybe you can
Right.
do that.
So you're holding the
But why wouldn't it be any different if you hold it directly up to the sun and it's obscuring the sun from your actual eyes?
Yeah.
You know
Because
what
they're
I mean?
saying you can't view it through any like a camera lens or anything. So what would be the difference with a phone?
I think I think if you're holding your phone in selfie mode and the sun is over your shoulder, it is going because people will take.
Kathy, the difference would be is with a phone. It's a digital reproduction of what you're seeing through the lens here. It's not like you're holding an actual camera and you're looking through a viewfinder that goes straight through the actual lens. You know what I mean?
Preston, you hear your Siri go,
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
I think that should work.
Selfie mode.
Now, mind you, at least
Yeah, maybe you can do that.
Yeah.
Now you're probably not going to see much because you really can't zoom in with the selfie mode. So I don't know.
All right.
It says, well, you might think your vision isn't at risk because you're not looking at the sun on your phone's screen. It could reflect harmful ultraviolet eye experts have warned. And if you are using a solar filter on the selfie camera, it will turn the picture dark and it will you won't show up. Oh, that's if you're trying to take a selfie of it.
All right. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Hell. Just look at everything get dark and be happy with that.
Let me go to Cody. Cody, you are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
I'm calling in because I've had welder flash before, pretty bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't able to see for like a day and a half.
Oh my God!
So completely unable to see, or was it like glaucoma?
I think it was more like glaucoma. It hurt to open my eyes. Like the last caller said, felt like my eyes were full of sand, but wouldn't stop watering.
And Cody, has there been permanent damage, or did everything pass after you healed?
The only thing that's really permanent is like super sensitive to light.
Okay.
Wow. Cody, describe what it was. Did somebody fire up the welding mechanism while you didn't know it was going to happen, or were you yourself doing the welding?
I was doing the welding myself. I was welding outside with an auto dark helmet, which is supposed to go dark as soon as the flash comes. But being outside in the sunlight, it didn't activate.
And did you know? Did you lose your vision immediately?
No, actually, I was welding probably about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't lose it until about 6 o'clock at night.
Whoa! So it's a delayed effect. That is wild.
Wow.
And that's sort of scary.
Yeah, extremely scary. Especially since I was driving home from work when it happened. I had to pull over and have somebody come get me.
Cody, in your time as a welder, so you've obviously heard these stories from other people. Have you heard of stories of people being permanently damaged by it?
I've heard stories of it. I don't know anybody personally who's been affected permanently by it.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to Helen Keller. I am not sure. She was on the site.
She was a young welder.
Yeah.
She's just a child. Interesting. All right. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, man.
Wow.
But as Mike says, why? Your sight is such a precious thing. Why even risk it?
Do you remember we had an intern here who didn't believe that Helen Keller...
I knew you were going to bring it up.
that Helen Keller could not have been deaf and blind.
Right.
That it was
she was I think she worked here. I don't even think...
She did, yeah. But she just refused to believe it because... Can't imagine someone who would be able to cope and communicate like that.
Well, it seems it's like an amazing thing. That's why they called her teacher the miracle worker.
Yeah.
Annie Sullivan.
Let me go to Dan here. Hi, Dan. You're on the air. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, bud?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. That last partial eclipse that we had not too long ago.
Yep.
I actually have video on it on my phone. It's a selfie of me, and it's over my shoulder, and you can see, the moon, crescent shaped across the sun and everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. So, we're going to bring this up to Derek Pitts later on, Dan, because I think that is actually a suitable option. Obviously, if he gives the go-ahead.
Yeah, we can't endorse it personally.
No.
No.
We can just verify that the world is flat.
I wouldn't endorse it, but hey, I did it.
Dude, you don't have to listen. Just simply because we say it, I wouldn't believe us. Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a good one.
See you, man. Bye-bye. Are you guys personally, you doing anything special?
Yeah, I'm going to have margaritas.
Yeah. I'm killing a virgin in a pentagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your
I
thing
have my Druid's roots. I'm actually going to be watching guys mulch my lawn.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm getting my butthole violated.
All right.
Everyone,
Dr. Mike.
Everyone observes in their own way.
Yeah.
I forgot about that earlier.
Many of the Druids would have rectal exams.
This segment. My fiance is like an amateur photographer. She bought a solar filter to go on top of the camera.
She's going to try to get the pictures.
Yeah, we're she's going all out. I'm going to walk around while she's doing that, but we're going to go to Valley Forge and try to get some.
Okay, Valley.
So I do have a similar neck, and even for the telescope, and as I was saying, I'm kind of too chicken-esque to even do that.
Try?
Yeah.
The school said that they're going to send the kids home with the glasses. So if they do that, we'll stand in our driveway and
so they're going to
peek.
They're going to give the kids glasses?
That's what they
Oh,
said.
nice.
Yeah, they're going to
Make sure that they're up to snuff and they're not novelty glasses.
That's what I'm worried about. But I got them last time and watched last time.
I hate those novelty eclipse glasses that blind your friends and family.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha.
Burn your
You're
retina.
blind now. Now have a piece of gum.
You going to do anything, guys?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Rita's Water Ice on Kirkwood Highway in Wilmington.
That's right.
And I believe, listen, there's no information on our website just yet. Marissa's working on it. But what I was told is that 200 attendees will get free small ice and MMR solar eclipse glasses.
I would imagine that if you were to put water ice, chunks of it over your eyes, it would refract the light. But maybe this is incorrect.
That's what they say. It's more organic that way. But I'll be at the Rita's Water Ice. It's 3730 Kirkwood Highway in Wilmington, Delaware. I'll be there from 2 to 4 today.
Now, are those MMR solar eclipse glasses or Rita's solar eclipse glasses?
They say MMR solar eclipse glasses.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. All right. Kathy.
Nick, they just give you 2 hollowed out Rita's cups. The bottoms have been cut out.
With cellophane.
That would track.
You just hold them up.
Yeah. Didn't who you were talking about that had permanent eye damage from just not wearing sunglasses?
So, so my aunt, they said that, so she, her retina detached, and she had like a lot of things that went on, but they said that they believed that because she literally never wore sunglasses. She grew up at the beach and, was always out on the beach. And they said that they think that part of her vision loss could have been from just never, ever wearing sunglasses.
So she's basically like tanning the insides of her eyes.
I guess. I don't know. She said she just wasn't a sunglass person and never wore them. And I think
they make you look so cool.
I think there were other, obviously other issues as she aged. But yeah, they thought maybe in part it had to do with that.
When you see a beautiful sunset, the sun is mostly obscured, maybe you only see the top quarter of it or something like that. Will you take a quick glance at it?
Yes, of course.
I do too.
Of course. I'll sit there stare at it for
No,
about 40
you won't do that. But it has to be similar.
You can look at
looking at an eclipse for a moment. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying don't do that, whatever you do, because you may be inclined to go, oh, wow, it's not hurting my eyes. I'll just stay here and look at it for a little bit. But when there's a beautiful sunset, I will take a look at the orb itself for just a flash of a moment.
You look at the sunset. There are many resorts where the big thing is at sunset. Everyone gathers and looks at it in the horizon. That's fine. You don't do that for 20 minutes, but a quick glance is fine.
I'm obsessed with sunsets wherever I go. I love to see a sunset.
Kensington?
Listen, if it's a nice sunset, I will go there.
Yeah.
Steve, I actually get a great sunset in my backyard.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Man.
Yeah, we get the beautiful colors and all that.
Glass of wine and watch the sunset.
Yes.
Think about things. Succulents and stuff.
We did that yesterday. It was beautiful. It was clear. Our friends Brian and Michelle have a beautiful view, and we just sat back there and enjoyed his sunset.
What if Preston is laying out his lunch for the week?
That was a hell of a setup.
Sorry, I posted a picture of the lunches that I make.
It looked awesome.
Group. Thank you.
I thought it was a restaurant.
But what I was going to say was I've been on like a sunset cruise where they literally drive you into the sunset. So you're
driving directly to it.
Everybody prepare to go blind.
Right.
I've been to Key West a bunch of my life. You guys ever been there? And Steve, to your point about like looking at the sunset, there's this place called Mallory Square in Key West, and the ongoing theory, and I don't know if it's a myth or not, but I wanted to bring it up on air because I want to know if anybody's ever seen this. The moment that the sun finally sets, goes beyond the horizon, is underneath the ocean, from your perspective, you are supposed to see this green flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody has actually seen the green flash or if they're just their brain has tricked themselves into thinking that they have because they've been looking at the sun for 5 minutes.
You want to be afraid of the yellow flash and the green flash. They're the evil ones.
Okay.
It's the red one.
The green flash happens at the sunset.
I've never heard this before. So you're supposed to see just above where the sun went down, some
in
sort
the
of
sky. Yeah, and the reason, I don't know if it happens in places other than Key West, but the place that I always heard that it did happen was Key West.
Bonaire, Nick. So my wife has seen it a number of times, and it is that exact situation. You said it appears to sink into the water, and at that moment, in general, she says you'll see the green flash.
All right, I've never seen it.
That's it. That's the green flash.
Makes the sound too.
It's very quick.
Yeah.
If you looked away for a split
Did you hear
second.
that?
I heard it. I totally
missed it.
3, 2, 1.
God damn it, I missed it. Now I'm blind now.
Let me go to Thomas, who has an eye issue. Hi, Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, my man?
Not much.
Hi.
First time caller, long time listener.
Oh,
love it. All right, so what's your vision issue?
It's called a macular hole in my eye, in my pupil, and it's from exposed sunlight, like over the years. I'll be 57 this year. It's a tear in the pupil in the center, and what it causes is a cloud, like in my eye.
Huh.
And it's just like deterioration of over time. But like today, there's no way I can even look near that sun.
No kidding.
So May 10th, I'm going in to get surgery, and what they do is they're going to put a gas bubble in my eye and then re-sew my eye shut to have it heal.
So they're going to. Oh wow, that's that's an amazing procedure that they can do that. Well, and once that is done, will we have any more issues?
For 2 weeks, they said I can't drive and probably won't be able to see. But it's a 90% recovery from the surgery.
All right, excellent, man. That's good.
They put a gas bubble in your eye.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why are you sitting on my face, Doc?
That bubble's too big. You need a smaller bubble.
No,
it's the weirdest thing.
Just a little pinch. A little pinch and a burn.
Right.
There you go. That's it. Didn't even feel that, did you?
Wow, man, that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe I got an
Thanks,
idea.
Thomas.
Everybody's saying don't
Good
look
luck.
at the sun. Why not focus on the moon instead? And now you're not looking at the sun.
You should be a scientist.
Yeah, right? It all
Have you ever
starts
seen-
with a hypothesis, and
When
then
you-
you got to prove it.
When you see the moon like in mid-afternoon or during the day,
Yeah.
you can kind of just see it up there.
I love it.
I took
Yeah.
a while. I showed you guys a picture I took in mid-afternoon, and you can see the craters and everything, and the gorillas, the moon gorilla.
I do like, when the sun, when the moon is out in the daytime, it's pretty cool to take a glance up there. I got a couple more calls, and we got to take a break because we've got to get ready for good Money It, which starts in a minute. We have Steve on the line. Hi, Steve. Morning, buddy. Steve, you are on the air.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome.
Welcome,
sir.
Welcome to your
welcome
car.
to my car. There's some food in the back.
Thanks for inviting us in.
What'd you want to share with us, Steve?
Welcome.
Yeah, Nick was talking about the green dot when sun sets. We used to go to Barbados all the time when I was younger over spring break with my family. And we would stand on the beach and everybody down there was having their cocktails, getting all fired up, talking about this green dot. And I never believed it, but you actually can see a green dot just as the sun disappears over the horizon. I've seen it probably
That's it. It's the
3 or
sound.
4 times.
So is it
You
a
see it
green
3 or 4
dot or
times.
a green flash? Is it a green band?
Because you get a green dot when you take a picture of the sun, or if the
Right.
sun's in the background, you always see that little green dot.
Solar flare.
Yeah.
Lens flare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a dot that happens. It's
Tinkerbell.
Just momentarily. As soon as it's like, as soon as that triggers, the sun down below that, it just triggers it, and then it's gone in a flash.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying that they've seen it in Southern California as well.
Thanks,
a lot
Steve.
of texts came in, and there's even a brewery called Green Flash in San Diego County. So a lot of people in San Diego go out to and specifically watch the sunset in the hopes that they'll see the green
I wish
flash.
they all could be California dots.
I wonder why specific locations.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why is that?
Yeah. Well, let me go to Mark here. We got to take a break in just a second. Mark, you're on the air. Good morning, buddy.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I've seen the green flash hundreds of times in our favorite place of St. John and the Virgin Islands.
Ah. Wow. And
I don't know all the science behind it, but it basically is the prism of the sun, and it's got to be over water. When you're in St. John, the sunset can set over the water or over the land over St. Thomas.
All right, let me
It's
ask you, Mark, real quick.
it's not- yeah.
What are you as you're watching the sunset?
What are you smoking?
No. What are you focusing on? Is it right
You
where the
can't-
sun?
You can't take it down there, so you got to take oils with you.
I got you.
So where do you see the dot? Where does it appear?
Right as it drops below the horizon of the sun, right off the water.
The last
so
little
right
bit
off
of
the
sun.
water.
Okay.
We're
The
watching.
very last second before it goes down.
We're watching video representation of it. It forms just above the sun's border,
Yarmulke.
just above it. Thank you, by the way, Mark. We appreciate it. And yeah, so it looks like it might be water-based, some sort of optical illusion, or
Right.
something like that. I don't know. We'll have to look up the science of that. Really interesting. Speaking of science, later on this morning, we are going to talk to Chief Astronomer at the Franklin Institute, Derek Pitts, just to give us the latest on what he knows about viewing and obviously going over the safety precautions and all that stuff a little bit later. So he's a great guy, and we love chatting with him.
And just a reminder, if you do go to PrestonSteve.com, WMMR.com, there's a whole bunch of solar eclipse stuff there. So my appearance information is on there now. And so yeah, keep it everything MMR all day.
Excellent. When we return, your first shot at winning $1,000 $1,000. Good Money It. We will have it, so stay with us. A bizarre file coming up, too. We'll be back in a sec.
Preston and Steve. On 93.3 WMMR. 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. It's time for a Good Money It keyword.
Let's get this started. This hour's Good Money It cash contest keyword is rich. R-I-C-H. And you have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter it. 3 ways for you to do this. You enter it at WMMR.com or via the MMR app. Or, of course, you can text it to the special contest short code number we have, which is 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley. Make sure you answer your phone. There are contest rules available at WMMR.com and is sponsored by McLaughlin Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. So, again, the word is rich. R-I-C-H. Enter it now, and good luck to you, friend.
Now, WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Natural Lawn of America. Natural Lawn has been creating green lawns quickly, more naturally, and with fewer weeds since 1987. Get free seeding every year. Call 800-FREE-SEED now. Well, you may have caught this story. If not, I'm going to bring you up to speed on it. If one has to consider one of the most chaotic places to be during an earthquake, the operating table of your own vasectomy is probably up there on the list.
Wow.
For Justin Allen from Horsham, Pennsylvania. This was his exact reality on Friday when the area was shaken by that 4.8 earthquake. Allen said, I thought maybe a train was passing by or it was just something that happens at the office, even when the doctor was like, I think this is an earthquake. I figured he was messing with me, but he had to stop because everything was shaking. Allen said that the doctor operating on him put the tools down for a moment.
Oh, my balls!
He said, we talked about how we'd never forget where we were at that moment. Asked if an earthquake during such a sensitive procedure concerned him, Allen showed pure bravery. He said, I really wasn't worried because he had walked me through every step of the procedure, so it mostly felt like a brief speed bump, and we were mostly just calm and laughing as the room shook.
Now, just in case we have an earthquake, I'm going to do this.
For now, Allen said that he's on the mend. He said, everything turned out great. I feel about as good as I possibly can as the numbing has started to wear off.
Did you guys get the earthquake chat prior to your procedures?
No, he didn't, and we did not discuss earthquakes.
Right.
But a tsunami. Yes,
that
we did. Yep.
Seems reasonable.
A Florida man, this is horrible. A Florida man was arrested after he allegedly caused a fight at a Disney World bar while intoxicated when he made fun of a woman with Down syndrome.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Officers said 61-year-old Brent George was arrested and charged with 4 counts of battery after the altercation that unfolded at Bellevue Lounge, a bar inside of Disney's Boardwalk Inn. Officers responded to the bar in response to a physical fight, later determined to be battery against 4 victims. Officers said George was intoxicated, had several injuries to his face that he claimed were results of being hit by a glass cup. George told officers that he was in the Bellevue Lounge with his wife, 2 family friends, which is a small bar area, where he claimed that he had taken 3 shots of bourbon and drank a beer while at the bar. The family was sitting at a nearby table when George approached them and started mocking the couple's daughter, who was described as having Down syndrome and was wheelchair bound.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right? The girl's mother then confronted George, asked him if he was making fun of her daughter, when George stood up and allegedly shoved her twice, and he proceeded to allegedly slap another guest at the table in the face when she tried to intervene. This guy's going around making fun of people with Down syndrome and slapping women in the face. The husband of the woman who was slapped got involved, and George allegedly punched him in the neck. George was then punched in the head by the husband. He then told officers that he didn't remember anything due to being intoxicated. He also said that he was having a, quote, a good time with the individuals, and then he was attacked by them.
This is having a good time.
One of the witnesses claimed that he saw an individual throw a glass cup at George and overheard someone say that they wanted to kill him. However, officers determined that there was no broken glass found on the scene. It's believed that no glass cup was utilized in the incident. An unnamed bystander grabbed George and removed him from the scene.
I was just busting chops.
He has pleaded not guilty on all 4 battery charges. I hope they send this guy to jail. A cruise This is terrible, too. A cruise turned... You know what? Let me do a lighter story on that one. Okay.
One drink, one water.
Yeah, that's exactly it. All right. This one's in Oregon. Tens of thousands of threatened Chinook salmon were reintroduced into the Oregon ecosystem on Friday.
Back home to Oregon.
But not in the river they were intended for.
What?
A truck carrying roughly 100,000 fish from Looking Glass Hatchery.
Where the hell are we?
To the Imnaha River in the north of the state crashed along Looking Glass Creek, killing about a quarter of the cargo and then causing the remainder. It just went into the creek nearby. And they just accidentally, by accident, then they end up in this other.
We're in a creek, you schnook.
The 53-foot-long tanker truck flipped onto its passenger side.
Wow.
After failing to pulling around a tight corner on a road next to the creek. It then skidded along the pavement and ultimately flipped onto its roof as it came to a rest on an earthen bank of the creek. The fish are raised at the hatchery as part of an effort to encourage sportsmanship and hunting by local Native American tribes, as well as repopulating the Imnaha population, which is listed as threatened.
So that's the best stocked creek in the world.
The 100,000 or so salmon that died or turned loose Friday represent a loss of 20% of the total number intended for the repopulation in the Imnaha. The driver received only minor injuries, and local sheriffs said that spilled diesel fuel was quickly contained. But I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, this is a terrible story. A cruise turned into a nightmare for people aboard Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas when a young man jumped overboard shortly after 4 a.m. on Thursday. And it's just listen to how this played out. So the 18-story ship, we sailed between Cuba and the Bahamas, and an as-yet identified man jumped off of one of the decks. According to onlookers, his father and brother watched helplessly as he leapt over the side. Some passengers said that it appeared to be an impulsive, spur-of-the-moment decision. Brian Sims, a passenger, said, I had hung out with him and his brother in the hot tub till about 3:30. It was standing room only. He sat right beside me the whole time. He was pretty drunk, he said. As we were walking from the hot tub back to the elevators, his dad and brother were walking towards us. His dad was fussing at him for being drunk, I guess. And when we got to them, he said to his dad, yeah, well, I'll fix this right now. And then he just jumped out the window.
Man.
In front of
18
us.
stories up.
And it just seemed like, oh, yeah, F you. Like he was drunk and just maybe wasn't
Oh, my God.
really thinking about it.
I think he kind of proved how drunk he was.
Deborah Morrison said there was a lot of yelling, and the crew was alerted immediately. His family was horrified, just beside themselves. I can't even begin to imagine what they're going through. It was insane, and it was just surreal. Royal Caribbean said his crew immediately sprang into action following the incident. The ship's crew launched a search and rescue effort alongside the U.S. Coast Guard, which has taken over the search. News of the apparent suicide attempt quickly spread among the guests, and many of them tried to help in any way they could. So just, they obviously haven't found this guy. More than likely, he's gone.
Oh, my God.
Overboard incidents on cruise ships are rare. According to the Washington Post, about 386 people were reported to have gone overboard on the major cruise lines between 2000 and 2020.
That's why we can't overstate the importance of Isaac, because he will help you if you have an issue. Talk to him.
The incidents, whether accidental or intentional, are often deadly. So
yeah, there are people who book cruises specifically to commit suicide.
There is a documentary about cruise ships and the amount of people that go overboard and how really, maybe we hear about this one, but that there's more than you could even imagine.
They try to suppress as much as they can. It's not good for tourism.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll end on that. Sorry. But I do want to remind you that you have 5 minutes left to enter the word rich. All right. At WMMR.com. Through the MMR app, or text it to the special contest short code number, which is 45911. Again, the word is rich, R-I-C-H. This is our first stop on Good Money Good Money to See You. So do that now, and let's have you win $1,000. Not too bad, right? We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay put.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. We're going to get Derek Pitts, chief astronomer of the Franklin Institute, on the 9 o'clock hour. But there's something that I wanted to mention that Steve had brought up yesterday. So Russell Simmons,
yes,
the entrepreneur. That he is. He and his wife, they have a daughter. She is 21 years old, and apparently she has started dating a guy who is 65.
65.
So, years old.
Wait,
her name is
She's
Aoki?
21.
And his name is Vittorio Asaf. He is a restaurateur.
Okay.
He's wealthy.
Yeah.
But what made it so interesting is that the mom and dad, Kimora Simmons, posted a picture of a panda bear pulling her cub back, and it says on my last nerve. Like she could not.
No.
Like I can't believe this is a thing.
Wow.
They're not. So suffice it to say, they are not thrilled. With what's going on.
Okay. I'm texting my mom right now. I hope that she will get back to me because I'm meeting for the first time in 2 weeks. My cousin, who I think that I want to say she's maybe like 25. Her boyfriend, who is, all we know is he's over 70.
What?
Yeah.
That's all you know?
That's all we know.
Wealthy? You don't know?
Because
that's an obvious question, right?
She's traveling and going on trips, so maybe. But he's
Sugar
not like
daddy.
he's not like wealthy where you know what I mean, where he has millions or billions of dollars. Maybe I think he has money for a 70-year-old man who's gone to work his entire life, right? And
he's
is
got
now,
a very full piggy bank,
right? And is now like in retirement or whatever.
Yeah, because that usually is the question. Okay, what's the impetus for this?
Steve had mentioned a scenario off air, which I thought might be kind of fun and interesting to pose to the audience. Is that what do you do if you're a parent? And maybe it's not necessarily just an age thing, but it can be. And one of your kids is dating somebody and you're just not having it. You know what I mean? That is a delicate position to be in because you don't want to ruin the relationship with your child, obviously, but you also don't want your child to do something really stupid.
Well, here's the thing. So I not having kids, but having, maybe have been the object of never had an age difference like this, but sometimes you're not the guy that they want for their daughter or vice versa. And there is that dynamic that just to me seems to be a tinderbox if you're a parent. Like, how do you play this? Because if you act all pissed off, that may be what they're looking for. And now you've sent the daughter or son that much further into the arms of this other person.
And you're talking about an adult child, by the way.
He's 21.
Somebody who's 21.
Yeah.
But you're still You're the parents.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So to me, it has to be like, what the hell do I do?
I know.
Listen, my mom did a lot of crazy things, or made me think a lot of crazy things growing up. But the one thing she did right, I think, was this. So when I dated somebody that she didn't like or didn't approve of, or
his name is Gary,
just didn't think it was, the right thing, she kept her mouth shut.
She kept her mouth shut.
She kept her mouth shut, and like some of them for like a couple of years, because she said, I knew eventually you would see it. You had to see it.
She trusted you. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you no, because the second you tell them no, they're going to run closer to what you're saying, no to.
Right.
So, and for it worked.
By the way, feel free to call in 215-263-WMMR. Kathy, about that though, your mom keeping her mouth shut, was it obvious?
No.
Okay.
No, because you know what? It's not like I dated people who were like, these nasty humans. They were, very nice people. It's just, it wasn't, what she, I guess, had hoped for me.
So how's the slug?
Yeah.
No, so she would.
How's the deadbeat?
She was very nice to them. And like I said, they were nice guys.
They weren't for you.
Right. She didn't think they were for me. Yeah.
All right. So did you ever date anybody that was like too old for you at the time?
No, it wasn't.
Like Fonzie?
No, it was an age case.
Okay.
That wasn't it.
All right, because I worry about, because I have daughters and daughters, and for the most part, they are only exposed to people their age. You know what I mean? And so I worry that, they'll be put in a situation, let's say they go and find a job somewhere.
Yeah.
Where
and they
now,
meet one of these,
they're working with somebody who's older than them, or you know what I mean? Like,
I think I'd go nuts. And I don't even have the scenario. It's not like one of my cats is going to come home with an older cat.
Right.
But I mean, on that level, it's like, to me, it just seems like you're playing with nitroglycerin.
Here's a text that says, Russell was 35 when he met a 17-year-old Kimora.
Yes.
So the apple doesn't far from the tree. Kathy, this person says, Kathy, is this man's name Norm? I might know him.
No.
No, you never dated somebody named Norm?
No, not her. I'm talking about the relationship she's talking about, the older guy.
Oh, wait. Oh, man. I probably shouldn't have said anything.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Let me see.
Go ahead.
I don't know his name.
And then there's another one that says, I know a woman who dated Tom Jones. Yes, that Tom Jones. Pretty sure she was 18 and he was 60. Yeah!
So let me ask you then, Kathy, while you're looking this up.
Okay.
Have you ever, or do you know of anyone, because I've heard this happen, where they'll date someone just to piss off the parents?
Well, yeah, I think.
Just to piss off the parents.
And I also don't think a lot of times it's done intentionally.
Yeah.
I think it's just like I had a friend who she dated somebody that was much older than her. Parents did not approve, and there was
How much older? 20 years?
Yeah, at least 20 years in there. Maybe it may have even been like 25. Now, he was very young for his age. He looked young. He acted young. He was in shape. So, like, they didn't look super odd together, but their backgrounds were much different. And her background included some money and things that were being passed down to her.
Oh.
And they were like, no way.
Freak the hell out. Yeah.
Here's a text says, my sister-in-law was in her late 20s, dating a man at the time in his late 60s. He was older than her father.
Whoa.
The money was certainly a reason why they dated. It was always awkward. They broke up, and she is now married with 2 kids with a great guy, about 10 years older. But I would like to have seen what Dad thought about, a guy calling him Junior.
Hey, Junior.
Dating
Hey,
his
son.
daughter. Yeah, hey, son.
Hey, son. So this is almost a 45-year difference between these two.
I mean,
and they were posting pictures, I guess, wherever they were, St. Bart's or whatever. And he's got his shirt off. She is a model at 21. And he's got his shirt off. And listen, God bless, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, I'll use the appropriate word, disgusting.
It's not Norm.
All right. And then we were also just asking about, parents not approving of who their kids are dating. I'm going to go to Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Good morning.
Hey, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. Virginia, what's up?
Well, I have a son who is 23, and he is dating a woman who's about 55.
Okay.
Picture a nice, young, good-looking dude with Camilla Parker Bowles.
That's not good. That's not good. So how are you handling this? Have you piped up, or do you just call her Your Majesty?
They've been dating for 1.5 years now.
Okay.
When it first happened, I was like, oh my God, dude, you're getting the granny goodies. I can't take it. So I met her. We went to dinner. And when we walked back in the house, he goes, well, what do you think? And I said, I think she's a nice person. And he said, are you still skeeved out by it? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
And
he's a nice person. I can't tell him who to love. If they want to put up with each other, whatever.
No, I get that. But I mean, so your thing is just
you don't like it.
Yeah, you just don't like it.
Something feels wrong about it, even though she seems to be a decent person, right?
There's pros and cons. Yes, she's a very decent person. I don't know how she puts up with his little spicy ass.
Let me ask you something. When you guys went out to dinner,
I love this guy.
Was
Virginia,
it
I love you.
Was it the early bird special? Was it like 2:00 in the
No, we went out to real dinner.
Okay, all right. Wow.
Okay, there's pros and cons. Okay, con, I don't see a long-term end for this relationship.
Right.
Pro, he can't knock her up. So,
Okay. All right, Virginia, may I ask, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 56.
Okay.
You're 56?
Yeah.
And she is 50-something?
55-ish,
50. She's almost your age.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, my God. That's
freaky.
Yeah, we can talk about the same shows we watched as a kid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There you go. Well, that's cool.
That's a pro.
But is this, what's the proper term? Oedipus.
An Oedipal thing.
I seriously doubt it. She looks nothing like me.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, looks have nothing to do with an Oedipal complex.
Like me, I mean, sometimes he'll say, oh, my God, that's what she said. And I'm like, well, we're both got to this age and know a thing or two. So
Listen, the second he starts asking to borrow some of your clothing on date nights, that's when you gotta
Virginia,
bring the curtain down.
Your plan is to just not be over intrusive and let it happen because he's an adult.
Like Kathy said, if you protest too much, you'll drive it harder.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to let it play out.
Okay, I think that's probably the right thing to do. If she was if there were signs that she was a bad person and you knew that it was nefarious or something like that, then yes, I could see stepping in. But and even that comes with its complications.
I'd have to step in and have him kick her to the curb. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with everything.
Thanks, Virginia.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a great day.
That would be weird, man. If your kid was dating someone who's maybe your age or older.
Yeah. I think the only time I would ever step in is if my child was not a legal adult yet, right? If they were 16, 17 years old, I would definitely step in. Yeah. And I would definitely have a one-on-one conversation with the other party. You go, the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
The hell are you doing? Go sniff somewhere else.
I do have a friend who is married to someone who I believe is either her dad's age or a couple years older. So yeah,
Jesus.
and I remember asking, like, you know, how they felt, how the dad felt, and
Kind of mushy.
No, she was like, they get along. They have things in common, and they have stuff they can talk about.
Judge, for the first time, I have a friend.
Well, and we've talked about this before, but like with my cousin, what is she talking to him
We were
about?
tying lures the other evening.
They both like soup.
Yeah.
No, but like, what are they when the girl is so much younger, or whatever, whichever way around, when there is such a large age difference, what are they talking about?
Shut up about the sun!
I'll tell you this. If you stop and think about it, they both spanked her for different reasons.
Oh, my God.
So here's a text that says, my father's oldest friend is 78. His wife is in her early 30s, and they have an 8-year-old son. Their son's first and middle names is Tom Brady.
So, Kathy, you showed me you showed me a picture. Is this the?
Yeah.
So the girl is very attractive.
Yes.
And the guy looks like her accountant.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I want
it
to
is
say who
very
he looks
weird.
like, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to give away. Yeah, I think there's a 45 year age difference.
Wow.
45.
Isn't
So
it
that's
crazy?
what this is.
Yeah.
With Russell Simmons and the daughter.
The younger you are, how the smaller age gap is kind of like a big deal. And then when you get older, it's like, and I'm only saying because I have a friend who, when we were freshmen in college, she was a freshman in college. She was dating a kid who was a sophomore in high school.
Right.
Right. And at that time, it was almost as if, you know what I mean? Like the
Robbing the
70-year-old and the 20-year-old.
No, you're exactly right.
You know?
As it moves along in various.
Yeah.
So, in that example, if someone is 33 or 34 and dating a 68-year-old, it's like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But it's not like,
Not outrageous.
Not outrageous.
You've been an adult for a while.
Right. And I think that's the perception. How long have they been an adult?
Yeah, when I was 18, my now fiance was 6, so I'm glad I didn't date her then.
Yeah, it would have been
She's
weird.
that much younger than you?
She's 12 years younger than me.
My
Yeah.
God, we're talking about Nick and Andrea right now.
Hey.
What do you guys talk about?
Well, it's a little different when you're in your 40s and she's in her early 30s, and like to Casey's point.
Shut up about the sun!
We watched The Office.
Yeah, it doesn't seem weird at all. Like,
It's a bit of an age gap, but
you let her stay up a little bit later and watch The Office.
Well, she makes me pudding, and then she puts me to bed.
Let me go.
You need another sweater, dear.
I got a couple of Megans here. Megan K. Megan, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, first time caller, long time listener.
Wonderful. A couple of them today. All right, what's up, Megan?
So my dad totally can catch red flags, and I was married to a guy for about 6 years, but when we first started dating, he totally was like, this guy is not for you. And he honestly probably caught him inadvertently, like, texting, calling other people, and then also on the computer with other people. But even out the gate, he was like, this guy is not for you, and I'm going to put up this front to be like, is this guy really the one, you know?
What kind of a wedge did that put between you and your dad when he came clean about that?
I honest, and this is very sad, I never told my dad until years later. My mom knew all the stuff that was happening before my dad did.
No. I mean, when he confronted you and said, this guy is not for you, did that ruin the relationship between you and your dad? Because
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Because in the long run, because now I am remarried,
Yep.
and my husband out the gate, he knew he was going to have this front because he was already defensive because the guy, was basically cheating. But he was like, how can I win him over? And I didn't tell you this, but I was like, my husband's like inadvertently like side dealing with him on the side for other things, like.
I'm not quite following.
Yeah.
I'm not, but what was the age difference between you and this guy? Was it a normal relationship without a best?
It was. He was 6 years older than
That's
me.
nothing. That's nothing. Yeah.
But still, the parents didn't approve, and I did ask for people to call in with that.
Correct. But it was like my dad just inadvertently knew. I do think that like parents just know. Like
sometimes
doesn't mean they get it right every time, and then sometimes you have parents who or at least by my reckoning seem to be way overprotective, and nobody's ever good enough for their kid.
Megan, real quick, how old were you when you guys started dating?
I was 18. Now that's a good question. I was 18 and he was 25. So.
Yeah. So when I look at that, I go, dude. Why are you hanging out with?
Why are you sniffing around my daughter?
Why are you hanging out with a high school kid? Like, go hang out with. You know what I mean? Like at that time,
go hang out with a 50-year-old.
It's only 5 or 6 years, but there's a.
There's just something. Yeah. I get it. It may not even make sense, but there's a perception, and I agree. It seems sort of weird.
Let me see here. A few different things going on. Let's go to the other Megan now. Hi, Megan 2. You're on the air. Good morning. YouTube. Are you a YouTube listener, watcher with the Preston and Steve Show?
I certainly am. It's in the bottom corner of my monitor at work.
Oh, we love that.
Emails. And
Love
watching you guys.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it. All right, what's your story you wanted to share here?
So I have two very quick things. One, I dated a guy for 5 years, and he was just awful. He was just terrible. And my parents were. They kind of made fun of him. They kind of made digs at him, like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." Like, "Oh, he sounds successful. He sounds great." And then the day I broke up with him, they were like, "Hey, let's have a beer."
Yeah. So they would playfully make fun of him, but did they ever sit you down and say, "This guy's a nightmare. What are you doing?"
No, but it was always playful, and it was always like, haha, very funny, and then I would think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it was definitely very subterfuge of my parents, but I appreciated them for it because they never outright said, no, can't see him,
And had they done that, would that have driven you deeper into that relationship?
It might have. I mean, I wasn't a very rebellious kid, but it definitely was one of those things where, like, well, if I can't have it,
you want it.
Yeah. Hey, Megan, do you participate in the chat on our YouTube feed?
I don't. I'm not in subscriber mode because I'm at work, but I am in there with Diamond Dog and all the people in there, and I say hi, guys. But no, I'm never really in the chat. But
yeah, it's a little family. It's a little community.
Yeah, but there's also like it can get kind of racy on that YouTube chat, can it?
A little bit. But,
I thought so.
Yeah, I want to say
Really?
hi, Tom, and hi, Diamond. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
I'm your little silent partner. But the other thing I wanted to say is that I have a cousin who was actually dating her mom's boyfriend's older brother.
Hang on a second here. Cousin dating her mom's boyfriend's older brother? Wow.
That's right.
Okay.
So technically, that makes her the slut-in-law. No.
Dating a guy that's even older than the guy that she's dating.
That's wild.
And is his brother. That's pretty freaky.
Yeah.
How did that end?
I think she was 17 and he was 48.
Oh my God.
17 and 48.
That's illegal.
Bordering on illegal.
Depends
Yeah,
on
it
what
is.
state you're in.
Yeah, and then I think when she turned 18, they moved states. So like,
You know how the parents never knew? It's because Blue Emu. It doesn't stink. They can
All
never
right,
tell.
thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. Man, there are some states that have weird laws on the books where you can marry somebody who is like 16 if you have the consent of their parents, and there's some freaky stuff out there.
And what particular breeds of dog you can bang.
That too.
It's just insane.
It's usually those same counties.
Guy got with a Rottweiler.
Let's see. Let's go to someone who wouldn't listen to the parents. I'm going to go to Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. You rock.
Thank you, Vicky. What's up?
Okay, so I got a twofer for you. All right, so number one, the guy before my husband, we were teenagers, high school. We dated throughout high school, and we got engaged. Let's say fairly young. Let's say we were 20 years old.
Okay.
And my parents, more so my mother, really didn't like that. So, because she thought maybe I was kind of throwing my life away, even though I was still in school and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, things came to a head and we fought a lot. So after about a year or so, we broke up, gave him back the ring, the whole nine. And when I was dating my then husband, which I'll get to that story, it was one Christmas and we started talking about the ex, and my entire family, with my mother cheering everybody on, saying, thank God you didn't marry him. We didn't want that to happen. There was no way it was going to happen, the whole night. And I'm looking and I'm like, but none of you guys said anything. And they're like, if we did, would that have made a difference? And I'm like, I got you there. And then luckily for that guy, I dodged the bullet because he wound up getting on the Megan's Law list. So I was like,
he got on Megan's Law list.
Wow.
Like no one ever puts that in their dating profile.
Whoa.
Yeah, I heard from after, this is years after the fact. I heard, luckily my family is full of law enforcement.
Yeah.
And it kind of got the background on how it was kind of one of them Dateline stings, if you will.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when they say they're in law and it turns out to be Megan's Law, it's a big red flag. Yeah.
So
Jesus.
there was that. And then, so now my husband, who I'm married to now, he is 12 years older than me.
Okay.
I met him when I was 21 and he was 32 at the time.
Yeah.
To me, that again, I understand the spread. It doesn't immediately.
As a parent, it would to me.
It would, okay.
Yeah, if you're talking about a 21-year-old girl and a guy in their 30s.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting, yes.
How'd you guys meet?
Yeah, just a bit much.
How'd you meet, Vicky?
We met at school. He was actually working at the college I was attending, and I was a work study student. So, no, he was not my professor.
I saw him on an episode of Dateline. I fell in love.
See, I would think I was going to say, they're both of age to, be at a bar. So you're 21, you're at the bar. 32, you're probably
my argument.
You're still going out to a bar. So, but you guys met because he was your teacher. So.
No, he was not.
No, I'm kidding.
Listen, Kathy totally approves.
Well, hey, what did they say? An A's an A, right?
Yeah, that's right. An A's an A.
Wow. And so,
wow, that's awesome.
Wait, so you guys are still together, right?
Yeah, we'll be married 18 years this year. We'll be together 20 years total.
And but your parents had an issue with it at the beginning?
Again, my mother.
Yeah. And now?
Now it's much better. Like when they first asked me, well, who are you seeing? And, you keep talking about this guy. And I'm like, oh, he's really nice. I'm telling them all about him. And my dad is actually reading the paper, not really paying attention to my or my mother's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, well, how old is this guy? So I start giggling. So now she knows, something ain't right.
Right.
Because, I can't not giggle when I'm not nervous. And she goes, how old is he? And I'm like, 32. She goes, what's an old man like that doing with a young girl like you? I'm like, well, thank you for making me feel like I'm 12 and he's a pedophile.
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
you already
that was the
dated
last
that guy.
Yeah.
No, I got that out of my system.
But Vicky, and that's the problem. Like when you're
this guy's a gun smuggler.
She's like, no, I'm an adult, blah blah blah. But now, as a 40-year-old woman or whatever, I mean, can you look back at your younger self and go, yeah, I was really young and wet behind the ears and other places?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I'll be honest. In the beginning, when we first started dating, there was that struggle, and there was even early on in our marriage, it was the struggle of me trying to find my voice with him and trying to give my point of view and trying to give it in an adult way.
And you're always going to think about the pedophile that got away. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, Vicky, I mean, listen, not for nothing, but so Marissa over here is 40 years old, right?
Yeah.
But we met her when she was 21.
Right.
And
we all dated her.
And we all dated her. We all got a crack at that. You know what I'm saying? No, but like, it's weird because like I know she's 40 years old, but I still perceive her as the 21-year-old Marissa. And for you, Vicky, like it's the same thing with your husband.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was in the beginning, but now it is different. I mean, my husband will say like, "Holy God, like without you, I don't know how the hell I would function." I'm like, "Yeah, me too."
Right.
So,
well, let's check it out.
It works. All right. All right. Thank you, Vicky. We appreciate it.
thank you.
All right, we'll see you. All right, one more quick call. We'll go to Sally. This sounds interesting. Sally, good morning.
Hi, how are you guys this morning?
Great. You have a story about yourself you'd like to share.
Yeah, I was 19, 20 years old. I ended up in a relationship with a man 20 years older than me.
Okay.
Had 2 kids. My mom did everything she could to break us up.
Wow.
Including stealing money and blaming it on him.
Oh, wow. No way.
I mean, she would do everything.
All right, let me ask you, how long did this relationship last, and then how long into it did your mom do stuff like that?
Oh, it was immediate with her. She would take him out to the bars and
sleep with him.
She tried. She tried.
No, she'd take him out to the bars and do what?
And no, honestly, that's not the first time she tried.
Oh my God!
Oh, she really did try to sleep with your man?
Yeah.
Sounds like the guy should jump in and go, "Hey, listen, this lady's really not the mother. This is not the mother for you."
Yeah, this guy's after. Wow, that's up.
Yeah. So I was in the relationship for a good 10 years.
Wow.
Because every time she would try to pull something, it just drove me closer to him.
There you go, and that's what we were talking about, that can backfire
so
on parents.
Parents listening, if you're thinking you're going to sleep with your son or daughter's boyfriend or girlfriend, it won't work.
It won't work.
No. Yeah.
All right, hang on. Sally, what was the nail in the coffin in the relationship?
They got married.
The nail in the coffin was when he took our last $200 for Christmas and spent it on alcohol instead of presents for the kids.
Gotcha.
All right, there you go. All right.
Okay. All right. So mom was right.
But it came back to bite me in the ass.
Mm-hmm. What's your relationship like with what's your relationship like with your mom?
I
mean,
Okay.
How do you think it'd be after?
Could you imagine that, Kathy? I mean, I'm just Kathy. Kathy, I don't want you with this boy, and if I have to, I'll sleep with him myself, just to show you. It's insane. Yeah. Well, no wonder it's strained, the relationship.
Well, yeah, because she couldn't get him. She couldn't get him to leave, and she couldn't get me to leave.
Why would he leave? He was banging both you and your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is too weird to comprehend. Yeah, but you're okay now?
Oh, yeah, I'm
okay.
fine now.
All right.
But my daughter ended up in an abusive relationship, and I wish I had the patience of Kathy's mom. Your mother's a saint, Kathy. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
I mean, her adopted mother, not Janis Joplin.
I did everything I could to get my daughter away from him, and no, I didn't go as far as my mother, thank goodness.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
Did they break up eventually, her and the abuser?
Yeah.
God, good.
I mean, it was physically abusive. It was really bad.
It's horrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
All right, well, hang in there, Sally. Thank you for the call. We do appreciate it. Yeah, it's complicated, man, but it'd be interesting if you were in that scenario as Russell Simmons is, and his wife, where their 21-year-old daughter is dating a guy in his 60s. 65 years old. And it's like,
and they are public with it, and there's photos all over Instagram, and they have been very vocal about saying they hate it.
Wow. All right.
Well, she hates it.
One last call. I know I said that was our last call, but this is a final call. I'm going to go to Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, Preston.
Hi. What's on your mind?
I just want $1,000.
Our first winner on our first try for Good Money It. Oh, that's awesome.
And Preston, on Solar Eclipse Day.
On Solar Eclipse Day!
You can get some crank and welder mask.
Nonetheless, that's fantastic. Where are you from, Jennifer?
I am from Aston, PA.
Aston, excellent. Delco. Well, listen, we here at the Preston and Steve Show are proud to give to you $1,000 just for being an awesome listener of WMMR, and it's brought to you by our friends at McLaughlin Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. So, Jennifer, congratulations on your $1,000 win.
Thank you so much.
You got it. How about that, man?
That's awesome.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Jennifer walks away $1,000 richer just for entering a silly little word to our through our website or on the app, and we are not done with that. We are just getting started. This is the first one out, and we are going to do another one, us alone, the Preston and Steve Show, another time before we're done with the program around 10 o'clock, and then it goes on 5 times throughout the day, Monday through Friday, so don't miss your chance. Details at WMMR.com. We're going to take a break, and we will talk eclipse in just a little bit because we'll have the chief astronomer of Franklin Institute, our good friend Derek Pitts, on with us. Stay with us. Stay put.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
Metro traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kathy. So obviously, all of the chatter today is about the eclipse that is taking place this afternoon. And we are happy to welcome via our Xfinity mobile Zoom line a good friend of ours, and he's got all the info you might want to know.
Yes, he does.
He is the chief astronomer of the Franklin Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Derek Pitts is joining us this morning. Good day, Derek.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to have you on. Thank you. You've got to be crazy busy, so thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate it.
Sure, of course. My pleasure.
So how excited are you personally about today's events?
Oh, I'm really excited about this event because it's a total solar eclipse. I mean, we're going to have partiality here in Philadelphia. But you know what? This is an awesome event no matter what portion of it you get to see. So even though we don't have totality here, I'm still excited because so many people have an opportunity to participate in a real science event.
Question, Derek, about the totality. I've experienced partial eclipses before, that a fair amount. I mean, not enough to where you can notice a difference. But when you are in the totality zone, how close to full darkness will it appear to a human eye?
Yeah, the way you should really think about it is that it looks like very deep twilight.
Okay.
Like the time in the morning before sunrise when you're just getting some light from the sun on the horizon. Well, in totality, that's what it's like. And the cool thing is you can actually see a ring of sunlight around the horizon around you, defined by the shadow of the moon. So you can actually see lighted areas out beyond the shadow. It's a very cool thing.
So in our area, now I've heard Erie has been picked as an area where they're going to be experiencing close to totality. Here, what can we anticipate?
So we're at 90% here. And the problem with 90%, of course, is that any small portion of the sun is just as bright as the rest of the sun. So what it's going to look like really is like we have very high clouds, maybe some thinning clouds passing in front of the sun. There'll be a pearlescent quality to the way that light looks. I mean, people will actually notice, if they pay attention, they'll notice the difference between 90% totality and what it looks like when you have a thin cloud layer. There's just this slight difference in how the sunlight looks. There'll be a little temperature change. Don't think about animals going to sleep and all that kind of stuff. That's not really going to happen. And we won't really feel very much else atmospherically, but you'll be able to notice that difference.
So all of the commensurate things that we associate with the totality situation, as you said before, like the crickets and all that stuff and animals doing their nocturnal habits, none of that will occur here.
Yeah, don't think about that because it's really just going to look like a cloudy day for animals. They're not going to think it's dark.
Okay.
But you're right. I remember in the last one in 2017, there was a different look to the light. I think most people step out and go, huh. This seems weird. So it's not going to be a Armageddon level impact, but there's enough to make you go, this is unique, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're right. That's exactly what it's like. There's enough to make this feel unique. And that's what I love about no matter about eclipses, no matter which one you see or where you see it, is that each one is unique. So for people who haven't experienced this before, of which there's a whole new generation of kids that haven't had this experience, this is a great opportunity to get them to notice how the entire environment can change slightly if you alter one or two major things in it. And here we are altering the amount and the type of sunlight, in a sense, we're getting, and that's going to change what the environment looks like around you. So it's a good opportunity to notice this kind of stuff.
I have a couple of questions about viewing it. So we know that you have to have the correct eye protection. So if you have the correct glasses, can you watch that whole whatever it's going to 4 minutes or whatever the time would be? Or are you supposed to still just look at it for a second and then stop?
No, in fact, if you have the correct glasses, the proper certified solar eclipse viewing glasses, you can watch all 2.5 hours if you want.
Wow.
Okay.
But there is something about that 4 minutes. So let's talk about that for a moment. During partial phases of the eclipse, there's a portion of the sun visible. At totality, the entire disk of the sun is covered. It's only at that moment, that particular time, when it's safe to observe the eclipse directly with no glasses. But here's the catch. You get so involved in observing this incredible phenomenon, you forget that time is passing and the moon is still moving.
Right.
So unless you're paying really close attention to what time it is in totality, you run the risk of having a bright piece of sunlight pop out from behind the sun while you have no glasses on. So you need to keep track of the time, use a timer, use whatever device you want to, so that you put your glasses back on 30 seconds before totality is over.
Just jumping in here, my guess would be the safest thing to do is if you do have the glasses, use those all the way through. Don't rely on your ability to time things down to the second to perhaps be lulled into a false sense, right?
So here we are. We're at the intersection of exciting phenomenon and legality. Okay, that's exactly where we are.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And at this intersection, you pull up to the stop sign, you look both ways down the legality street, and you say, you know what? I'm going to wait right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
right. But scientifically speaking, when the sun is completely blocked by the moon, no sunlight is reaching your eye.
We won't have that here, though, right?
We don't have that here.
Yeah.
So for us, we have to wear the glasses all the way through.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, I have a question. I think I know the answer to this, but it's not uncommon to see the moon in the daytime. There are times when you look up in the sky and you'll see it's kind of grayish blue, and it's a really cool thing to observe when you do see it.
Yeah.
Why do we not see the moon at all, and we only see its shadow as it's passing across the sun? Why wouldn't we be observing, seeing the moon itself with my naked eye before it gets to where the sun is? Or can we? I don't know.
Oh, right. So, there's a really simple reason for that. Sunlight is scattered across the sky by the molecules of the atmosphere, and that scattering is enough to make it really challenging for us to see the unilluminated side of the moon. You see, when the moon is in the sky during the day with the sun, almost at eclipse, which happens once a month, it's almost there. The sky is so awash with light, and there's so little light coming from the side of the moon facing us.
Right.
Contrast in the sky isn't great enough for us to see it. But during an eclipse, moon moves in front of the sun, contrast increases, sky gets darker, we can see the moon.
Okay.
Interesting.
I had a feeling that might be it, but because obviously we're seeing this. When we do see the moon in the sky in the daytime, is it usually at more opposite ends in the sky than where the sun is? Because the sun is sending its reflection that way, or the light that way?
Well, it's interesting because, as it turns out, there are only a few days during the course of the moon's 29.5-day cycle around the Earth when the moon is not visible. So you can see the moon in its very last days before it comes to new moon in the morning sky before sunrise. And you'll see a very thin sliver within, maybe 30 degrees of the sun, 20 to 30 degrees of the sun. When the sun is still below the horizon, you can catch this. And likewise, on the other end, just after new moon, some people try to go for a record of how early they can see the moon after new moon phase. And that can be as little as 18 hours. So you get a very thin crescent just after sunset, just after the sun has gone down. But you can start to see the moon then and watch it all the rest of the days through the cycle.
It's amazing. Now, NASA is taking advantage of this. I understand that they are launching a number of rockets out of their Virginia launch site. And explain what the purpose of this is. I think it's fascinating.
Well, there's a couple of things that can happen. First of all, when the sun is in eclipse like this, it's a perfect time to try to observe the sun's corona, the sun's outer atmosphere. And you can only really do this if you either have some kind of a satellite in orbit around the sun doing it, or if you do it during an eclipse. So these drones, these launches that NASA is doing, are going to put scientific equipment up to study the sun's corona and also to study the effects of the change in temperature in the Earth's atmosphere.
It's pretty wild. So, and a number of them are going up, correct? I think there are like three separate rockets.
I thought it was 4. Maybe
okay.
It was
quite possible. Now, concerning a solar eclipse, and I'm just a neophyte here. There are different types, and I have it listed as annular, partial, and hybrid. Can you explain the differences?
Yeah, sure. Right. An annular eclipse is what occurs when the moon is a little bit further away from the Earth in its orbit as it passes between the sun and the Earth. And what this does is, if the moon looks a little bit smaller, then there's a ring of sunlight around the moon when the moon moves between the sun and the Earth. So you see this image behind me?
Yeah. Yes.
That right there in the center. Let me see if I can get my finger to the right place. I did.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. That right there is an annular eclipse. You have a ring of sunlight around the moon because the moon is a little bit too far away. Okay. So there's that one. Partial eclipse is when you're in some location where you're not directly in the full shadow of the moon and not all of the sun is covered. This could also be a geometry situation between the sun, the moon, and the Earth. Okay. But not all the disk is covered. A hybrid eclipse occurs when you have two of these conditions met during a solar eclipse. Either part of the path is in totality or part of the path is annular, and the rest of the path across the planet shows up as either total or partial.
By your reckoning, which you just on a personal basis, which do you find the most fascinating to witness, or what scenario would be the most appealing to you?
Oh, totality.
Totality,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it rocks.
The rest. Forget the rest. Right. Yeah.
Where else in the world will people besides the United States be able to see the total eclipse today, or is it just us?
No. The path runs down into Mexico and off into the South Pacific Ocean, and so it's coming up across from the down below Baja California, up through Mexico into the continental United States, and then up through the Midwest, up along the St. Lawrence River, and then across the top of Vermont, New Hampshire, and across the top of Maine. Then it heads out into Canada along, Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. My geography's not the best, but then it heads out into the North Atlantic.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if there were eclipses that happen on the other side of the world, timing wise, that we just never really hear about because it's not going to happen over here. I don't.
You would assume, right?
Oh no, there's a you can now. I shouldn't say you can now, but people have calculated when eclipses are going to happen out for the next several thousand years.
Sure. Yeah.
So we can do that. But here's an interesting thing most people don't know. Total solar eclipses are either preceded or followed by total lunar eclipses.
Yeah.
So when's the lunar eclipse?
Coming soon.
All right.
All right, let me
answer.
To a planet near
this
you.
is a perfect time for your own research.
Yes, that's right. So let me ask you this then, all right? Obviously, there's so many aspects of the universe that are tied, and the DNA runs, and literally the matter of the universe is in us. So when you have an eclipse and you have it just days after earthquakes, and gravitational pulls and things of that nature, is there any connecting fiber between events like that?
Yes, there's connecting fiber that is completely made up by imaginative humans who will make connections between any random object to say something is happening.
Right.
An event. So
Right.
if we just look at the science, no, there's no connection. There's just no connection.
So just a quick question also. I remember in 2017, and we were talking about this earlier, and you have the event coming up later on, and the safest way to do this, but there was an uptick in car accidents in 2017 because people were driving along attempting to look. You're shaking your head, yes. So we can remind people to try to look at, to be as safe about this later on as possible and not do that. And one of the things is the event that you have going on today, which please illuminate us on that.
Oh, we have a really great event happening at Franklin Institute. Out on the 20th Street sidewalk, we are setting up stations of observing methods. So we will have indirect methods like colanders or pegboard masonite or pinhole cameras. We'll have this really cool device called a sun spotter, which is actually a specifically designed solar telescope that lets us look at the sun indirectly. It's a projected view, and it's a really great way to see the eclipse. We'll also have telescopes with filters, one at each location, one at each station. And we'll also have this really cool thing that I invented called the solar tent. And a solar tent is like a picnic canopy. You know those picnic canopies that hold all the time? And what I had my team do at Franklin Institute was to cut sections out of the top and fill those sections with large sheets of solar observing material.
Oh.
People can just stand under this.
Wow.
Stand under it, look through so you know what it's like? It's like a gigantic version of the solar observing filter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you can just stand underneath it with your family and look up and observe.
It's like a skylight that is safe.
There you
in a
go.
tent. Yeah. Wow.
Dude, that's a great idea.
Yeah. I had heard you mention a colander earlier. I heard that those are good because you don't strain your eyes.
He's laughing.
I'll give you that one. That was good.
So, to some of the points we were talking about earlier, somebody had suggested, and we need to go to you, the expert on this, if you were to have your phone in selfie mode and your back was to the eclipse, is there any risk you run by viewing the eclipse in your iPhone or phone as it's happening live in selfie mode with the sun happening to your back with the eclipse?
So there are no deadly eclipse rays that will come through the phone.
That's what I figured. Yes,
through the camera.
Right.
But I don't know because I haven't tried it. I don't know what all that bright sunlight is going to do to your camera phone.
Well, I know. I was curious too, though. If you're doing selfie mode, you do have the reflective screen that you're looking at, and so if you were to look at a direct reflection of the solar eclipse, that still can be dangerous, correct?
If you're looking at a direct reflection using a mirror, yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I was curious about the reflective surface of the actual phone screen.
Right.
That's why I would think just. Anyway, never mind.
Right. But there are two other interesting aspects about that. You can take a mirror, a regular flat mirror, cover it with a piece of black construction paper, and cut a circle out of that black construction paper. Then what you do is you catch the light of the sun on that mirror and then shoot the reflection over to a shaded wall.
Right.
And then you can observe the eclipse that way.
So cool.
And then one other method that you can do that really, is like no equipment at all, is if you're standing anywhere near a pond, you can look at the reflection of the sunlight on the pond. Now, it tends to work better like in a bucket of water or something like that because, most of the water will go through the upper surface and you'll get a little bit of reflection off the top.
So yeah, it'll be more protective.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, that actually is another option.
I'd not heard
That's another option. But I tend to like the colander method better because you get so many images of the sun in through this pinhole projection method. And there's one last one. If you take your fingers and put them together like this and make like a grid between your fingers.
Okay.
Plus the spaces between your fingers with your back to the sun, light falling on your hands, light streaming through your fingers. will create pinhole cameras as well. And down below you'll be able to see little tiny images.
That blows my mind.
That's as simple as could be, and it's that makes total sense. I love that.
Even the pinhole camera thing, I don't know why that seems weird to me that it works.
Well, we used to do, as I said many times, it used to be the common thing to do. We do the box over the head with the hole on one side, and you stick your head in, you'd see the eclipse light on the side of the box you were looking at.
Yeah, that's right. And the cool thing about those kinds of methods, those indirect methods, is all of them work with your back to the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not looking directly at the sun.
All right.
I wanted to see, this is not necessarily eclipse related, but I wanted to ask you if you've either read or started watching Three Body Problem yet. Is that...
Right, I'm reading it actually right now.
Okay, all right, because I just finished it on Netflix. There are 3 sons in this particular book series and movie series, but there's a lot of physics involved, and I wasn't sure if that was. Is that a good eye roll or a bad eye roll?
You know what? It's a challenging eye roll, is what it is.
Okay.
Because typically in hard science fiction, you don't see anywhere near the depth of physics as is in the three-body problem, and the three-body problem being challenging enough as it is, presents an additional challenge when you think of it like this, in this context of a science fiction story.
All right.
Derek, I suggested a book to you, Project Hail Mary. Did you ever get around to that?
Not yet.
Come on, man.
What are you doing? What the hell could you possibly be doing with your schedule?
All right, well, listen, the event today, the eclipse schedule starts at 2:08. Partial eclipse begins, and then 3:23 is maximum eclipse. 4:35, the eclipse ends. On the 20th Street sidewalk, what time is all this going on today, Derek?
We start at 12:30. We run from 12:30 until 5. Did I mention the beer garden? I should have mentioned that.
No, that is certainly a big draw. In your particular business, that's a big draw, the beer garden.
And there's donuts. First 200 people get the exclusive Eclipse donuts from Federal Donuts, I believe.
Well, there you go.
That's what I'm going for.
I figured.
Yeah. Actually, what you can do is hold the donut up to the eclipse.
Would that work? If you held a donut up and faced away from the sun and had a reflection service.
There you go. It's a pinhole camera.
I love it.
A little bit too big.
Derek, it is always a treat to talk to you. Thank you so much for all of your information. We do appreciate it, and we hope you have a great day today.
Thank you. Same to you. Make sure you get out and observe whatever of this you can.
Absolutely.
Done and done. Derek Pitts, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend on our Xfinity Mobile guest line, and talking about the solar eclipse, the viewing party at the Franklin Institute, 1:30 to 5 p.m. today.
It is exciting.
And they got all kinds of goodies and cool. I like the idea of that tent, he said.
Yeah.
That has the surfaces on on the ceiling. That
you just stand and you're not. There's no sense of claustrophobia. You're or whatever, and that makes perfect sense.
Nice.
I hope he put a patent on that.
Yeah, totally. Real quick, do you guys mind if I do a shout out?
Not a problem.
I got what?
Only if, because we don't get to do this all that much. Only if I can. Use
we haven't played the song in a while.
The shart bed. So here it is.
Yeah. It's quick, but it's effective.
Yeah.
This says, hi, guys. Hi, Grandmom. This is from Kate, and she says, I had my 5-year-old son, Alex, in the car when you guys were playing the clips of Casey imitating the kids with the hi, Grandmom. She said, and he was dying laughing, and said, he asked if they could play that again, and I said, I'd play back later in the day when it's on the podcast. If you can send him a shard out, he'd crack up even more. I podcast every day at work, so anytime is fine if possible.
Do you want to give him that case, and I'll finish off with the
I'm going to give him the second verse because weve been playing the first verse all the time. So here's the second verse.
Yep.
Do the hi, Grandmom. Like what? Do the hi, Grandmom.
Do the hi to Grandmom.
Hi, Grandmom.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. All right, we still have a couple minutes left here in this particular segment, don't we? I saw this very interesting thing that Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker, I had no idea that these were even around, but she signed 3 public safety bills from the city council this week, including one that bans the use of devices that allow drivers to switch or obscure their license plates with the click of a button. And Steve, they are giving a nod to 007.
James Bond.
And James Bond with the flipping license plates. But apparently it's kind of common that some people have this, that they've created a law.
So there are a couple of things I've seen. There's the one that is sort of a gauzy, foggy cover that makes it hard for the red light cameras to catch your tag, your license plate. And then there are actually rotating concealing plates.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. How, you've seen it. How does it work?
It does like a little thing, like a door comes over it.
Comes over it and puts a different license plate on top of it.
No, the one I've seen.
Oh, it just blocked it. Blocks it out.
Okay. So this is okay. I thought maybe it puts up a fake number or something, but maybe not.
Okay. Maybe they do.
I don't know. It says license plate flippers.
Yeah. Now with the license plate readers, at least in Pennsylvania, I don't know if this is anywhere else, but there are certain letters on license plates that are like banned now, or they don't
that's what
use
happened
now?
with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't port my license plate from my last car to this one because my old one had one of the letters that they were discontinuing.
Wait, why?
Because they look too much like other letters.
What are some of the letters?
Like an O and a 0?
O and a 0 maybe, an I and a 1 maybe.
Okay.
I don't really know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question because I take the Northeast Extension, so I go through the mid-county tolls every day, a couple times a day. And when so, obviously now everything is paid by plate, right?
Well, a lot of it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they still have, you have the express lanes that you can go through.
And they still have the toll booth.
And they still have the toll booths.
Yeah.
Why do they still have why do some people go through the toll booths?
I don't know. A lot of them are being eliminated, like literally taken down.
Is it maybe because Easy Pass is only acceptable through the higher speed
I don't think
express
so.
lanes?
I think they just haven't gotten around to eliminating the actual.
I'm
No,
curious
but
why.
you can go through the regular. Is this what you're asking? Through the regular toll booth with Easy Pass? Yes. you
Yeah,
can.
but I'm curious why someone would choose that.
I know. Yeah, I agree.
I think honestly, they just haven't gotten rid of them yet. It's a construction thing, and it's taken a while. But there are more and more exits where there are 0 toll booths left.
Right,
and so that interchange is so busy and so massive that they'll get to it eventually. They'll take it down.
Going from the Pennsylvania Turnpike to the New Jersey Turnpike, there's no longer a toll booth.
Right. There's one. There used to be toll booths on the 29 exit. Those are gone. I've seen a bunch of interchanges where they're just there. You can see where the toll booths used to be. I came through when I was coming north on 95 the other day. You cross over the Miller Tidings Bridge and you get from you're going over the Susquehanna River going north. There used to be toll booths across 95 there. They've all been eliminated, and that's because you can use Easy Pass or pay by plate.
Wow.
So then that's obviously the modus operandi there. They're going to eliminate all that, and then we'll just have the pay by plate.
Does anybody else get excited when they see like an Alaska license plate? I saw one yesterday. I got way too excited about it. I took a
so hard.
I took a picture. I didn't get sexually excited, you perv. But I took a picture of it and sent it to my son. I was like, look what I saw in Wayne, man. How awesome is this?
I could drive a nail with this thing.
It's fun when you're on like a long road trip and you try and do a check off of like all the.
We play the game. We play the license plate game when we go on road trips.
So we're looking at an actual flipper here, and I've not seen this. And it actually takes the plate and flips it over. The thing that I saw actually does this halfway through and then just obscures the plate. But there are 2 plates, and I can see what she's talking about then and what this law is stopping, because you could literally hide your identity with a faux plate.
Yeah, so the city council unanimously voted to approve the bill in late March. Council members said license plate flippers allow drivers to avoid police investigations, tolls, and parking tickets, and are often used by illegal street racers, too.
Well, that's what I do. And your mom does that too, Case.
Yeah, when she's Tokyo drifting
Drift
all over
race.
the place.
License plate flippers have been banned in Texas and Washington, and Tennessee is considering legislation that would ban them. New York City has cracked down on the sale of license plate covers as well.
It's pretty wild. I think I want one.
I hate the fact that I guess the goal is no more toll workers at all.
Yeah, which is
which
sad.
really sucks, because that's for some people that's a way of life. Maybe not only people who just need a job, but maybe people who are disabled and can't be very physically active. That could be a consideration.
Are there any currently?
I don't know.
I mean, other than bridges?
Toll takers? Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking.
Are there toll takers right now? Because I don't think any on the PA Turnpike that I can remember. And I know that there are some on some of the Jersey bridges to and from Philly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the only place I can think of them currently. I think most of them were asked to either early retire or given incentives to do so, or just flat out let go.
You know, it's interesting you say that because going through crossing the bridge I can't actually remember the last time I saw a human.
Walt Whitman and Ben Franklin bridges and Commodore Barry, they all have.
They use mimes.
There's people there.
Yeah, there's people there. The one bridge that goes from Wildwood into like the Cape May area.
There's one guy sitting there.
How much is that nowadays? Is that still a quarter?
No, I think it's 50 cents.
Oh, yeah, inflation.
Yeah. I'll dance for you if you give me $1.
Dude, so my in-laws used to have a place in right outside of Split Rock. And it was 25 cents to drive through Split Rock.
I remember that.
He would not do that. He would not pay that quarter. Yeah, you had the story, I think, in a Bizarre File last week or whatever. But, yeah, he went all the way around to save that quarter.
Who would?
My father-in-law.
Oh, really? It's a quarter. Yeah, whatever. It's the principle.
It is the principal thing.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Turnpike. This is from the PA Turnpike website. All tolls are collected electronically. All orders travel
by robots
at the posted speed. So so there's no toll takers.
Well, speaking of not having workers, Amazon is giving up with its just walk out technology, which allowed customers to simply put their shopping into their bags and just leave the store without having to get in line at the checkout. You just walk out. And
little did they realize that most stores have that policy now.
The tech, which was only available at half of the e-commerce giants Amazon Fresh stores, used a host of cameras and sensors to track what shoppers left the store with. But instead of closing the technological loop with pure automation and AI, the company also had to rely on an army of 1,000 workers in India who were acting as remote cashiers to
so
monitor the whole thing.
Paying for it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I tried it because there's one near me. I felt like I was stealing, even though I wasn't, and it's pretty wild.
Where you going with that, Casey?
It's pretty wild to see all that stuff end up in my my Amazon cart, after I had left and stuff. It wasn't. It was expensive still. Like I thought it, and that's why I never went back.
It should be cheaper if you don't. But I guess they had all these workers that we didn't know about. But I mean, the whole idea of fewer workers is to be able to offer cheaper prices,
right?
Supposedly,
right.
And meanwhile, you got people who aren't going to have jobs, and we're still paying the same amount, and that's
because they're probably paying the same amount for the technology.
Yeah, maybe.
Doesn't Apple does similar, right? The Apple store, like you can walk in, pick something up off the shelf, pay for it on your phone, and just leave.
I saw a gang of like 30 guys do that at an Apple store in California.
I haven't been there in a long time. I know that they operate, differently there and have for a long time.
Not like the phones and the watches and stuff like that, but any accessories that are out and hanging on the wall, you can just purchase and then leave.
Really?
Yeah. And I always feel weird, and I check in, and they're like, "Yeah,
everybody try it.
You can always, you can always just check out online."
I think every store works like that, Kath. Everybody should just go out and try it right now.
I need a new phone. So you pay on your phone, but somebody's
through your account,
got to acknowledge that you've had a transaction.
We talked about this with Costco. So Costco now has the thing where as you're going around, you can use the app or BJ's, I think it is.
And check out.
And so you're checking out with your phone using the scan. You're scanning everything.
But they still have that angry man at the exit that checks
your
receipt,
right? They got to have the angry man at the
Yeah.
So you just show it on your app.
That dude has been there for years.
Oh, this one guy you're talking about?
Here comes Hachi.
The one angry man. Yeah. No, he's not really angry. He's just not
serious.
Personable. Yes, he's very serious about his job.
Right.
But he has been there forever. So I'm glad that he'll still have a job.
What'd you buy today, tramp?
They put the little mark on your receipt. Don't really check what you bought.
Yeah, they're not checking at all.
They're not checking it
Actually, I had a guy give an actual super nice guy, good personality. As I turned to my wife and said, "Well, that's how you do it."
Yeah.
And he checked everything a little bit. He can't check everything, but he gives a once over.
Oh.
They have like a system there, and if you break from their system. They're like, no. Like when you put your stuff on the conveyor belt and then they take the cart and they put the stuff in, they have their way of putting it in there. I was like, oh, okay.
Rochelle does our Costco shopping. When I get there, I'm clueless. I'm like, which side am I supposed to be on? And am I allowed to touch that and put it on there? Or no, you leave that in the that in the cart.
Yes, there's certain stuff that has to stay in the cart.
I'm sorry, don't know the rules.
And do you notice as you get up to the register?
I know I'm a club member and everything, but
it's like cookie and candy park right before the registers.
Oh, yeah.
Because they got you. They got you. You've just been shopping. You're like, oh, I should have bought that. And they get you every time.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for the impulse buys. You know who does the impulse buys great? There's a few different places. Home Goods.
Oh God, that's
TJ
the
Maxx.
best shopping is right at the cash register.
Also, Staples has great.
Yeah, they do.
Wonderful, and they it's like Disney World. They steer you through the gift shop.
There.
Yep.
I need malted milk balls.
Yeah.
Home Goods and TJ Maxx and places like that, they now have merchandise like shelving so that you are filtered through it. Where it used to just kind of like live up there, now it's like a line. You have to pass it. You have no choice.
Brilliant.
People end up shopping and like pulling their cart over and going, "Oh, okay, go ahead, you can pass."
It's like that device that Temple Grandin built, where you're kind of like in the chute. And there's running the candy past you.
Michael, some of the hobby stores, they have
they do it too.
Those things too.
There's so many thermoses there, man. I'm like, I do not need any more Yetis or anything like that.
Wait, I did buy that.
We are going to have to stage, by the way.
Yeah.
We are at critical mass. We have to stage a thermos mug purge. We can't
at home.
Literally, shelves are resting. They're not even. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
People have gifted them to you.
We just keep getting them. Yes, exactly.
You know what? The ones I can't. I purged. I got rid of a ton of them. I cannot get rid of my Dunkin' ones. They give us the best cups.
They do. Yeah. They do.
And I have like 100 Dunkin' cups in my cabinet.
I bought one. I bought a Yeti. I think it's like a gallon jug. When I saw it, I was like, I have to have this, and I know the price is going to be amazing.
Does it have a straw like it's one of those?
No. It completely seals shut. And the reason I bought it was so that I could boil hot dogs, or at least throw boiling water in there, and then throw hot dogs in there, and then you have hot dogs. Hot dogs at the beach all day long.
That'd be a good way for camping too.
Yes,
because you could take the Yeti camping.
Don't talk to me until I've had my morning hot dog.
No, but and then you can you take the rolls. You just can bring the whole thing, and then you make the kids hot dogs at the beach.
Kathy never has a second hot dog at home.
Speaking of hot dogs, I have to tell everybody the picture you showed me earlier. Casey showed me it's a cocktail. Now we were talking about the hot dog straw a little while back, and somebody had made a hot dog straw. And they put it in a cocktail, and they called it a Schlong Island iced tea.
Does anybody? I think
that's fabulous.
Kyle drinks Schlong Island iced tea.
Schlong Island iced tea. But Casey, that's an interesting idea about the hot dogs. I hadn't thought about that. Take boiling hot water.
Yes.
Put it in this container. Throw your hot dogs, which haven't been boiled yet.
Right.
In there, and they're already cooked anyway, but it'll heat
But you're
going to
have hot dogs on the beach.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
It's like a beach crock pot.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah, I think I think I do the beach, and I think you do too. The beach, right?
We figured it out.
We figured it all out. Yeah. Like I bought.
It's such a process.
I know, but so I have this this beach cart, the Phoenix Beach Buggy. It is the Rolls Royce of beach carts.
Yeah, Casey taught me into getting one, and we're very glad that we did.
But it fits everything on there. I mean, I can fit like 8 beach chairs. It's got umbrellas and all that. But then because livestock, if you needed to, you could put them in there. But
wait, what's the beach cart?
It's a Phoenix Beach Buggy. I'll show it to you in a little bit. But one of the other my favorite purchases ever. I bought like one of those Gatorade cooler water jugs.
Yeah,
and we used that all because it was so annoying because the kids would come out of the ocean and they would take a bottle of water and they would drink like a quarter of it and then leave it, and then we had all these like quarter drank bottles of water. I'm like, well, we're killing the earth right now, bastards.
Yeah, and then the hot dog came. Dog
then
idea.
That's when the hot dogs come out.
Yeah.
Hot dog.
Did you find it?
I did. That's too big. I don't need that.
Okay. Yeah, it's
do.
for serious beachers.
You really need.
I'm a serious beacher, but I don't need.
When you're taking a bunch of people.
If you can't carry it, it's not coming.
All right.
to the beach.
Well,
You got to
this-
be able to carry it. If you can't carry it, I'm not taking it.
Oh, no. This allows you to take the
No, but then you
circus
got to
with
do
you.
it all.
What's that?
You push it all, right?
Yeah, but it's easy to
It's
push.
so easy
Yeah, but
to
that's
push.
It's
just-
literally like a
I'm
one
just
finger.
saying my
Okay.
rule is
All
if
right.
you
We're never going to
can't.
sell her on it.
No. But my rule is everybody's got to carry their own stuff. I'm not carrying everybody's stuff.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good rule.
This makes it easy. Hang on. Let me go. Kathy, somebody needs your help. I'm going to go to Matt. Hey, Matt, morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning to see you. What's up, buddy?
All right, so I'm like Steve. My kids, my wife, they buy coffee cups nonstop. So they buy one, they need to throw out two.
I like that.
They buy one, they have to throw out two. That's wild.
It's not working. It's not working. Anyway, Kathy, the Dunkin' Donut cups with those lids, my wife is obsessed with them, but I cannot find those lids anywhere online.
Wait, what lid? Which lids?
The lids with the cold foam Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Matt Calper at WMMR.com.
Calper at bbgi.com.
Speaking to.
That's our sales manager.
Yeah, we get them all through the station.
Yeah,
so
they're given to us. But
I do know though that all of the Dunkin' locations don't sell merchandise. Like you have to find a specific location that sells merchandise. So
You're right.
If Matt, if I find them, I'll let you know.
Please do, because I'm sick of all those plastic cups everywhere.
I gotcha. All right. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, bud. All right. Listen, I want to take a break because we're getting close to our second opportunity for you to win $1,000 with Good Money It. We had a $1,000 winner just a little while ago. Let's add you to that growing list. We'll return with the special keyword and how you enter it, as well as a bizarre file. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Preston.
MMR.
93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. It's time for a Good Money It keyword.
And I'm here to deliver it to you. This hour's Good Money It cash contest keyword is saver. S-A-V-E-R. As in you're saving money. You're a saver. S-A-V-E-R. You have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter that. 3 ways for you to do it. You can go to WMMR.com. You can do it on your MMR app. Or you can text via the special contest short code number we have, which is 45911. And then one random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley. Make sure you answer your phone. Contest rules are available at WMMR.com. The whole thing is brought to you by McLaughlin Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. So again, the word is SAVER, S-A-V-E-R. Enter that now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Briganti Wines, Italy's finest. Available now at select Pennsylvania Acme's. Visit brigantiwines.com for details. That's brigantiwines.com. A Chipotle employee in Michigan was shot in the leg by a customer Friday night, and the shooting stemmed from an argument over guacamole. And I was telling my wife about this, and we were both like, well, let's hear the man out for a moment.
I know. It's a gray area.
The victim, a 21-year-old man, is in stable condition. He was transported to the hospital where he was being treated for a non-life-threatening injury. Thomas Huber, a witness, said, I was just eating a bowl and I heard shouting, and then I looked over, they're arguing. One of the workers went to the back. I don't know why. And then when he was in the back, the customer walked around the counter, tried to grab his food and put it in a bag. Then the employee came back and they started fighting, and then we heard a gunshot and just ran out as quickly as we could. The suspected shooter is a 31-year-old Detroit man. He was located after taken into custody shortly after fleeing the scene. The witness said he took his time getting out, probably 30 seconds after the shot was fired. And I was in my car, and I just saw him walk out of his car, close the door, and drive off. He didn't speed off or anything, and it was weird to see.
He used the Michael Corleone method.
The Chipotle was closed once police arrived at the scene.
Imagine when that crosses your mind. I'm going to Chipotle. I better bring my gun.
Yeah. And you never know. There might be a guacamole
might
incident.
be a guac incident.
A Canadian man found a rat in his toilet, and his month only got worse from there. In a recent case report, The man's doctors described how he contracted an unusual and severe infection from being bitten by the rodent.
He was bitten while sitting on the bowl.
One that ultimately sent him to the intensive care unit. Thankfully, he was successfully treated. The case was detailed recently. According to the report, the 76-year-old Montreal resident went to a local emergency department with fever, headache, and abdominal pain that had been ongoing for 3 days. Almost 3 weeks earlier, he had the misfortune of encountering a rat in his toilet bowl. When he tried to remove the sewer animal, it bit his 2 fingers.
Jeez.
The man promptly visited the emergency department, and his wound was treated. He was given a tetanus booster, and while the wound itself was healing fine, by the time of his second visit, tests revealed he had developed sepsis, a type of systemic life-threatening inflammation that's caused by infection, and he was admitted to the hospital.
So what would you rather have, a snake or a rat in your toilet bowl? Because we hear about both.
Man, probably a rat.
A rat?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Doctors suspected that he had either contracted rat bite fever, an infectious disease caused by several bacteria commonly found in the mouths of rodents, or leptospirosis, which is caused by leptospira bacteria.
And neither sound good.
Both diseases can be treated with the same drug, so doctors quickly placed the man on intravenous antibiotics, and they waited for further testing. Eventually, he was confirmed to have leptospirosis. And what made it strange is that most of the leptospirosis, that it usually isn't caught from rat bites. The bacteria isn't naturally shed in a rodent's saliva, but rather it's urine. So people will typically catch it from touching urine directly or being exposed to food and water contaminated by infected urine.
Rat urine.
As best as the doctors can tell, the man's infection might have come from his furry aggressor having temporarily contaminated its own mouth with bacteria-soaked urine before biting him.
So rats are into water sports?
I guess so. And he just felt before he bit this dude, he was going to...
Let me drink some of my piss.
Get a little piss in his mouth.
I'm a rat, man. What do you want?
Yeah. In Iowa City, a man is charged for allegedly exposing himself to an 11-year-old child in the toy section of an Iowa City Walmart. Now, obviously that's a horrible thing, but this guy is an idiot on another level, which is why I put it in the bizarre file. So according to the criminal complaint, the child reported that a man was following her in the toy aisles. When she looked over, she said she saw the man touching his exposed genitals. The public safety posted a surveillance image of the suspect looking for tips to identify the man. So his name is Dustin Hill, and he actually called the police asking for his photo to be removed. The surveillance video shows him.
Yes, I was just in there a while ago exposing myself to a child. I'd appreciate the removal of that photo, please.
It's kind of like what it was. Surveillance video showed him following the victim out of the toy aisle just before she reported what had happened, and her mother and store employees. So a warrant has been issued by this for this idiot's arrest. Yeah. All right. I love this story. Okay. So these guys, this couple of guys do this thing online, and it's actually taken off. And they are stick reviewers.
Oh, I've seen
stick reviewers.
They review sticks. Online.
You know, because guys, we tend to love sticks.
We talked about this,
and they have a whole community of stick heads behind them. So, a bearded man standing in the forest, cradling a long spiraled stick that he found on the ground, says the green is just beautiful. It's cascading down, almost waterfall-esque. It smells like sage. Some eucalyptus in there, too. The verdict is in. This particular stick is a 10 out of 10 stick, according to Utah's Boone Hogg, who, along with his buddy Logan Juggler, runs the popular Instagram account. He said, when we started this stick page, we felt there must be other people out there who like sticks, and we were right. He said it felt like being kids again. Since they launched in August, more than 43,000 followers have joined the online community they call Stick Nation.
I could get behind this.
It all started, Juggler says, as kind of a running joke. While hiking with friends, they kept happening upon top-quality sticks and found themselves waxing poetic about how great they were.
It's funny you should mention that, because that's really where hiking is, where you find the sticks.
Yep, Juggler said part of it was a joke and then part of it was true. And we were like, oh, yeah, it's actually a nice stick. It feels good in the hand. And we just really went into depth as to why it was a good stick. And on a hike in Moab, they filmed their first stick review and posted it online. Hogg said it just kind of felt right, and then we started doing it every day after. As the page grew in popularity, Hogg said that Hogg and Juggler started receiving submissions from followers of stick pics for their consideration.
SPs.
And pretty soon, people started sending their own reviews, too. He said there are a number of tests that you can do when you find a stick. One of them is the McMurray Bend test. Another one is called the Tennyson Curve Scale. And a new one that we just dropped today actually is called the Williams Whacker Meter. That one details with how well it is for whacking.
So we're watching a video. I think the guy is showing off this one stick here. I think this stick is too big. It's too long.
Steve, among stickheads, the great divide is over those who support mods, which are sticks that have been carved or otherwise altered, versus those who favor natties, which are sticks that are all natural. He said we do a stick of the month, a tournament at the start of each month, and some people have been calling for modded sticks to be disqualified, he said. So, Steve, there is all kinds of controversy involved with the stick reviewing.
My natty stick that I got in the Grand Canyon, I absolutely love it. I didn't touch one thing on it.
You still have it?
Oh, yeah.
I like a stick that if you're holding it, gets up just about mid-pec level, so you can kind of put your hand on it, but hold.
So you like to hold yours
towards the top, like
grip
on a
with
ski
your
pole.
thumb at the top.
Like Gandalf.
Yeah, like Gandalf.
Okay, yes, as if you're
I'm a fan of the natty stick.
No mods in your world.
No mods, that's for pussies.
I'm a stick guy too. If I go on hikes, one of the first things I do, I immediately start looking for a good walking stick.
But actually bought hiking sticks, that you can extend them and all that stuff, and I defaulted to the organic regular stick.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this before because
that's a bizarre file, by the way.
I made the observation that, my kid will be like, "Dad, dude, check out this stick," and I will legit go, "That's a good stick."
It's a good stick, son.
Not me just pandering to my child.
I go on a site that's for female hikers. It's Chicks with Sticks, it's really.
I'm down with that.
It's so good.
I like that.
Yeah,
Chicks with Sticks. They should, if they're smart, they'll start. They'll get the ladies in their lives involved and get on board. Yeah, you do have to appreciate a good stick.
I do.
Kathy, do you ever just pick up a stick?
No, but I like when the kids will pick them up and immediately make it a weapon.
A weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on mud? Right? Because there's mud.
Are you serious?
The irony is that it's hard to stand on mud.
Yeah. You can.
Good point.
Depending on the context of your sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Jay stepped in horse manure when we went to the farm over spring break, and the shoes are still in a plastic bag in the garage because no one will touch them.
If you ever really come across a fresh horse dump, so much of it is hay, and I mean,
No, it was crap.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What did it taste like?
It was fresh as ever, and it was everywhere. It was hard to. You had to watch where you were stepping. I mean, you had to literally watch your feet, and he just went right in it.
Horrific. Yeah. All right. Well, we should take a break.
No, wait. Yes. Wait. No.
No.
I knew.
I need to mention the Good Money It word again. The key word is savor, S-A-V-E-R, not to be confused with savor. How would you spell the other savor?
O-U-R.
Yeah, not that. S-A-V-E-R.
One who saves.
One who saves. And enter it at WMMR.com or through the MMR app, or text it to 45911. So good luck to you. Yeah, let's take a break. Come back in a second, and we'll get to lesson question, trash, music news, that stuff, and we'll be back momentarily.
Preston and Steve.
Preston's concerned that someone's driving along thinking that it was Guns N' Roses, and he figured he'd head it off at the pass.
I don't know why I was saying. Maybe because it's Izzy's birthday today, and I had GNR on the brain. And as soon as I said Guns, that's not the same band. No, that was Twisted Sister. It's Dee Snider, and
he's not going to take
AJ French and everybody else in that band. Okie dokie, then. I do know this. It is 10:20. And it is shaping up to be a very nice day today. The temperature in the mid to upper 60s, and partly to mostly cloudy skies. What this is saying,
I'm not seeing it. If we can, I don't know. Obviously, things can come into the area.
Yeah,
but it looks pretty clear right now.
Karen Rogers was saying earlier that with the eclipse, we're not getting widespread clouds, but it doesn't take much.
Yes,
in the right spot to obscure an eclipse, and hopefully that won't happen. So anyhow, we'll see how that works out. But tomorrow's looking absolutely amazing. Mid to upper 70s and partly cloudy skies. Going to be fantastic. So
be a good day for golf.
Would be, wouldn't it be a good day for golf?
Yeah.
All right. Why do I have that Good Morning It intro there, Case? Was it just misplaced?
Yeah.
Because we need to do today's lesson question.
Yeah, maybe I put that there.
All right, so let's do the lesson question for today. The prize we're going to give away is a pair of tickets for Rain, a tribute to the Beatles, Friday, May 10th at the Miller Theater. And the question that we'll ask, I'm going to go back to the entertainment report this morning. We were talking about somebody retiring, and it refers to that. What TV game show finally pushed E.T. over the edge? Because E.T. was getting angry.
Furious.
On the show this morning.
Furious.
So what TV game show finally pushed E.T. over the edge? Hopefully you heard it and you know, and you should call if that's the case. 215-263-WMMR. While you call, we do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. You can go to phillysportstrips.com now and put your small refundable deposit down to go to spring training next March with us.
Yeah.
phillysportstrips.com. What's going on, Steve?
Well, Jelly Roll's private jet reportedly had to turn around mid-flight because of a critical system failure. Apparently, they ran out of snacks.
Oh, no. Hey.
Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher ending their marriage after 14 years together. You talked about this, Preston. Fisher says she finally feels free to admit that she hates the Borat impression.
Oh, my God.
And finally, Sarah Jessica Parker says she wasn't allowed to eat junk food growing up, but admits to taking a what the hey attitude with her kids. In fact, not only does she say what the hey, she also eats it. And that's your Hollywood.
All right, we're going to see if somebody knows the answer to this. What TV game show finally pushed E.T. over the edge? It is Chris that we chat with. Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hello.
All right, Chris, what TV game show pushed E.T. over the edge, please?
Wheel of Fortune.
Yes. 1 second, Chris. Got yourself a pair of tickets to see Rain, a tribute to the Beatles, Friday, May 10th at the Miller Theater. With note-for-note precision, this mind-blowing performance transports you back to the iconic eras of Sgt. Pepper, a magical mystery tour, along with all of your favorite hits. 4 shows, May 9th to the 11th. Tickets and information at ensembleartsphilly.org.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
It's a slumber party.
Brought to you this morning by 80 Moyer Lumber, trusted expert since 1939. 80 Moyer Lumber is your professional source for decks, windows, doors, kitchens, millwork, and more. Visit them on the web at admoyer.com. Eddie Vedder was very forthcoming about the future of Pearl Jam and living in the moment in an interview. The frontman talked about how much he leans on his longtime friendships. At the same time, he said that he finds himself in situations where he realizes certain people should be there. Those people are his late friends from the Seattle music scene, Lane Staley, Chris Cornell, and Mark Lanigan.
Yeah, I bet you that's a sobering thing to think about. No pun intended.
Eddie said, and you're sad for them that they're not there, but it makes you realize you got to be healthy. You want to be around for your kids. You want to make good records, and we might have 1 or 2 left, he said. Pearl Jam is releasing their 12th studio album, Dark Matter. It's coming out on April 19th. The album is available for pre-order, and additionally, a special edition of the album will be available on the record store day.
Don't forget about the listening party with Nick.
Which is taking place April 20th. I'm going to get to that in a second. Yep.
I'm trying to jam you up, man.
The band has released 2 preview tracks, Dark Matter and Running. And to celebrate the album, Eddie.
Thanks, bro.
Pearl Jam is hosting a worldwide album listening party dubbed a global theatrical experience. Dark Matter, one night only, will hit over 500 theaters around the world on April 16th. And yes, we will have another chance for you to win tickets to the listening party with Nick McElwain, which would be this Sunday at the record shop in Phoenixville.
What was the last? Did you do? Was it the Hooters album? Was the listening party?
Yeah. That was actually at
kind
the
of a cool thing,
studio.
right?
It was awesome.
I can't remember the last one I went to. And it's cool because they're doing 2 things for this. They're going to do the one at the record shop, the listening party, and then they're going to have those screenings at the movie theaters, too. They're really promoting this record pretty heavily, which is I'm interested in.
I would wonder if this introspection about the people who have passed, and, I think it's only natural in your life that things that you might not have done before, you might, like these sort of things. Maybe there's going to be a new level of access to Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder and all this stuff that we could have scarcely imagined years ago.
I would hope so. I mean, they're in town for a few days in the fall, including an open day on a Sunday, so maybe they could do something with the radio station then. And Pearl Jam wouldn't exist if not for the death of somebody else. I mean, Andrew Wood died, and that allowed Eddie to become the lead singer of a group that didn't even exist in the first place. So, I think that they've been sort of surrounded by death their entire careers, and I'm not surprised by this.
Puts things in perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Per the announcement, attendees will be among the very first to hear the band's new record in select cinemas around the world. The communal experience will play Dark Matter in its entirety twice, first in a dark cinema and then again with added visuals. Well, this is sad to see. C.J. Snare, founding singer of the long-running hair metal band Firehouse, has died at the age of 64. The group, which scored Hot 100 hits in the early 90s with the singles Love of a Lifetime and When I Look in Your Eyes, revealed his death on Sunday on social media. No cause of death was provided, but Snare's death came 6 months after Snare revealed that he would undergo abdominal surgery. The band initially postponed their gigs, but recruited a fill-in singer while Snare recovered. Just a week ago, he had hinted that he would soon return to the stage. Firehouse said in a statement, "We are all in complete shock with CJ's untimely passing. CJ was arguably one of the best vocal talents of a generation, touring the world with Firehouse nonstop the past 34 years. So they were founded in the mid-'80s, but they stormed the charts in 1990 with their debut self-titled album, which boasted a pair of singles that became hair metal anthems, Don't Treat Me Bad and this song, Love of a Lifetime, which are both co-written by Snare. The former single enjoyed a resurgence in recent years when it was featured in the John Cena show Peacemaker, while the latter, Power Ballad, has accumulated over 88 million views on YouTube.
I bet you'd love the soundtrack to that series, Peacemaker. It's
you told me about that.
Full of this stuff, yeah.
By the way, although the band's second album, 1992's Hold Your Fire, arrived amid the outbreak of grunge and alternative rock, Firehouse remained relevant, while many of their brethren washed out. I guess, according to this article, they kind of went the way as well. But Reach for the Sky and When I Look in Your Eyes were hits as well. But yeah, they were one of the bands. This is kind of where rock music was.
Yeah.
At the time when grunge.
Anthemic, yeah.
When grunge came along and said, all right, we're getting ballsy again.
Make sure you tell your pretty lady that you love her.
Yeah. So, anyhow, but I have no idea how he passed. But yeah, that was sad.
It says
news.
Boulder.
A boulder landed on
Wow.
it. No, I don't know about that.
Way to go, man. Quick.
One last story. The latest Linkin Park new singer rumors come from an unexpected source, and that would be Jay Gordon, the frontman of the band Orgy. Gordon touched on how Linkin Park once toured with Orgy in a new interview, and he mentioned how much he admired Linkin Park and how the future of the band will be a challenge without Chester Bennington. And he then said he heard Linkin Park now has a female singing for them. He said, don't quote me on that. Apparently not knowing how interviews work.
Right. Don't quote me. You say that before.
He said, I'm not sure who the singer is going to be, but I heard it was going to be female. Now, his remarks took off, which led him to issue a follow-up statement. And listen to this. Via Facebook, he said, with regards to this Linkin Park singer thing, I know nothing about any of that. People sure do love to take my words out of context. I love those guys and wish them the best. He said, wow. I was like, what the actual F? I said nothing about knowing any of that and never brought it up. I love Chester, and there will never be another him ever. Strange that dude said something to me about it, not the other way around. Get real, dude, not cool. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
He's trying to confuse people.
But it sounds like the quote said, I'm not sure who the singer is going to be, but I heard it's going to be a female.
Yeah.
So anyhow, he added that
Stop quoting me verbatim.
In the comment section of his post, he said, I wish them nothing but the best since such terrible and tragic loss. Chester was a friend, such a legendary guy in so many ways, still bummed about it. These are my own words, not some BS hype story to get people engaged. He said, I would never speak on another band's behalf. They communicate just fine on their own. If something like that happens, I would hope they would be the ones to drop the news. I sure as hell wouldn't do that to them or anyone. Click conjuring has never been my strong suit, so don't take my words out of context ever again, bro.
Crustables forever.
Yeah, so that's what he has to say about that. And there you go. That's what I have in music news for you. All right, with that, we have one more break that we will take. When we return, letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize, something for you beachgoers, and we'll see what Pierre's got going Stay put. We'll be right back.
That window.
Black Crowes 93.3 WMMR, wanting and waiting. 10:41 of the Preston and Steve program coming to a close. Check that Monday box off the list. And a special Monday, it's Eclipse Day.
Yes.
Today. We had a great time talking to Mr. Derek Pitts of the Franklin Institute, your chief astronomer.
The best.
And we always, I think we probably always mention just what a soothing voice. Number one, he tells you about these incredibly complex things in a very simplified manner, but he's got a soothing delivery about him, and I just love talking to him.
Kyle said it actually brings him to orgasm.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he might have said calm in my opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard.
Yeah. Question. Is today Earth Day?
No.
4/8 was 4/8 Earth Day ever before? Like, why
Maybe.
am I
always thought it was 420, though.
No, that's smoking pot day.
I know. I think it's both.
Oh, by the way, I was just in
Hitler's
Michigan this
birthday,
weekend, and apparently, 420 is huge.
422 this year.
422 in Michigan,
420 is a big deal?
Big. They have it's like Weed Fest or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Derek Pitts was on, and today at the Franklin Institute, they've got some eclipse viewing parties that are going on 20th Street. Right by the Institute. There are all kinds of stuff. The viewing glasses that you want. They've got free donuts and all kinds of tchotchkes. And that starts, I think, around 12:30 or something today and goes on until 5.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, you're in the city, it's that beautiful day, stop by there for sure.
And if you're in Delaware, I'm going to be at the Rita's Water Ice on Kirkwood Highway in Wilmington, Delaware. I'll be there from 2 to 4. First 200 people to show up. We'll get a free ice and MMR solar eclipse glasses.
And it's very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Pierre Robert is here. Hey, man.
Good day, citizen.
Nice to see you, dude. Shall we do the letter of the day?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
E as in eclipse.
Yeah, it's perfect. We're going to give away, by the way, the incredible Shift Travel Table and 4 Tommy Bahama Beach Chairs. The most convenient portable umbrella table available. The Shift Travel Table has a sturdy tabletop with large cup holders, a patent-pending beach umbrella with a swivel arm that allows it to rotate 360 degrees, and their unique anchor mat that makes it safe for the beach, even on the windiest of days. And you can check them out at shiftoutdoors.com. They're awesome. Casey and I both have them, so we're going to give that away on Friday, which hopefully will be here before you know it. What's up today, man?
Well, we will. I think Nick is hosting the Sunday listening party for Pearl Jam, and I'm hosting the theater experience next Tuesday.
Cool.
Do you know where that is yet?
I don't.
Okay,
know.
yeah, because it's been there's been a lot of back and forth apparently with the radio station and the record company, so they were hammering out those details even on Friday and over the weekend. So when you find out, let me know because I want to come see it as well.
Oh, cool. Where's your thing on Sunday?
Mine is on. They haven't given the time yet, but it's at the Record Shop in Phoenixville, which is right on Bridge Street. So it's afternoon, and we'll get more of the details as we go along with this week. But I was telling Steve earlier, I haven't been to a record listening party in a long, long time. So I'm it's my favorite band, but I'm super excited just to go to one of these parties. It's going to be
really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll have that. We also have Offspring in honor of Smash being released 30 years ago today.
I can't even wrap my mind around that.
Isn't that wild?
I know.
And, of course, they'll be on the MMRBQ. We've got a workforce block of the Cars, block of Pretty Reckless, and then somewhere in the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to start some sun songs and moon songs, and Brent will continue that into the 3 o'clock hour until the magic moment. And it's sunny out there now.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm not. It's
a few clouds.
It's a little hazy, but I wouldn't say that I looks pretty good. We're supposed to get about 90% coverage. Not total, but that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out in the parking lot and do jumping jacks.
All right.
Waiting for the eclipse.
The way the ancients did it.
That's how the ancients did it. Yes, Steve, you're quite correct.
Jumping jacks.
Yeah.
When's the last time you did jumping jacks?
A while ago. Although it is part of my physical fitness program, but my knees are a little on the sorer side.
Oh, okay.
So I got to.
Now you just watch people do jumping jacks.
Yeah, I got to get the EPAT machine going.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, yeah,
Stretch out and
yeah.
get ready, buddy.
All right.
All right, let me thank our sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin', and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and Natural Lawn of America. Get free seeding every year. Call 800-FREE-SEED now. Tomorrow on this very program, our friend, comedian Dan Soder, is going to be checking in. And we'll enjoy the post-apocalyptic stuff from after the eclipse.
We'll see who joined the blind club.
Yeah. So, and more. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.